All right, live now. I got to go to the Distilling 101 page and go to that podcast page and wait for it to come up there. That's why we need to do that 30-second countdown. I mean, we're live and people can see it, but we're not able to respond. So look for comments while I'm doing this and let people know that we're all right. Here we go. Cool. I got it. All right. Copy that link. This is a little bit of work to do, but once you get it done, it's done. All right. Now you go back to WordPad. Copy that link, and now I can also go to the groups. Let's see here. A second. Bear with me. It takes a second. It's damn hassle to do this every time, but the
Going
countdown is
Gordon Untitled.
definitely the way to go. Let's see. Just a second. Let me post these links.
Classic 6. Goody.
All right, here we go. Last night I posted them all, but somehow didn't hit enter
Oh,
on
yeah,
the
live.
list.
You go live.
Yeah, we're left. Hold on.
You go live last night?
Or no, I mean
Oh,
Friday.
must have been
Yeah, we were
Friday.
live last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Posting the links. Just bear with us. This is where Roger engages you and talks to you while I post all these links.
Oh, I do? Oh, I'm supposed to be doing that?
Yeah, you got chores, man. While
Well,
I
hey,
post all this shit, you got
nobody for me. I never got the memo on that.
we're gonna have to check the.
They keep me in the loop. How's everybody doing? Who's all ready to get drunk?
And I think that's it. Let me make sure. Go back through them. I'll make sure I did it. And if I didn't forget to hit one last week or yesterday, last night.
Oh, did you run the shit show last night?
Well, me and Philly did it. Yeah. Yeah, Damon and Tom were out partying on the road when we started it.
Looked like they were having a pretty good time down there from the pictures I seen.
Yeah, I'd like to have gone. You know, I was going to go today, but it was just so hard to get up, man. And I was sore after doing those breaks last 2 days, and I just totally didn't feel like it, man. And drive all the way down there and watch them get the presentation and drive all the way back. If I could have gone, I would have gone last night and done the pre-party and all that. Smoking, huh? I said that New Year's resolution.
What?
Is that out the window now? Yeah.
No, I said once I finish that carton off, then I'm gonna quit. I had a carton
Go on,
to finish.
Gordon. I'll have to go through and highlight. What's up, G. Liz? What's up, driving? Red? Not yours. Coming at us from Pleasant Grove, Ohio. What's going on, man? Yeah, jump in here. Any questions you got, man, while you're learning? This is a good place to ask. We can't answer. We'll find you the right answer, Unlike a lot of the
I will lie to
you
you.
go to, you get a lot of
No.
yeah, we're not gonna bullshit you if we don't know. We'll say, hey, you don't know, but we're gonna find out. Got some pretty good sources. I can answer most beginners' questions. If you get real advanced, you don't have to. I might have to refer to somebody else. So it's everybody drinking that. What are you drinking, Hodge?
I'm,
I
I'm
can't
drinking
decide what I'm gonna
Budweiser,
drink.
and I got some vanilla cherry. I got some Patron. I got some moonshine cherries.
Patron. You moonshine. You buy that
I got
expensive shit.
some.
I
I
thought
got
you
some
made
bread
the
and
drink.
butter. Bread and butter moonshine pick. Huh? No, that's a gift, a Christmas gift. I was gonna run that corn liquor today, but after waking up with a kidney stone, I ain't feel doing shit.
Pretty hot.
What are you drinking?
That blueberry brandy. I'm
Oh,
sorry, this is blackberry brandy. 100 proof, but it tastes a little,
I
tastes
made
like
that.
110.
Who made
It's
that
all
one?
right. Hmm. Me, moi,
Who made that one?
mine.
Who made
It's
that one?
me, moi, me.
Uh,
Anytime you say it, ask me.
moi,
Yeah, moi.
moi, moi.
Yeah, I'm a Francais, man. You know, I was thinking
What are you
earlier
all in the
today,
audience drinking? Oh
why in
Lord,
the
you're
hell didn't we?
thinking.
Yeah, I know my mind gets drifts some. Why in the hell didn't we take Canada when we took America? We should just had all that shit.
I don't know. I wasn't at that meeting when they decided to do it.
I know, man. They
You-
should have conferred with me. But
Yeah,
something they was with Britain, man, and I couldn't remember it, but Britain had control of them until 1982, man. That's pretty wild, isn't it? I never thought about that one
Canada.
time. Hello, Lisa. Hey,
Huh?
I better
Didn't know that.
get some. Yeah, I didn't either. Then we about took it in the 1812. I kind of did a little reading up on after that. Like, why the hell didn't we? I don't remember it in my history classes.
But
Memento. All right.
wait a second.
Well, I'm gonna post some links.
There you go. Right one.
So
Post some
anybody wants
links.
to jump on here can. Yeah, yeah. Why not?
Oh yeah. Where's
Anybody
Lisa?
wants to
I
jump
know
on
Jeremy
can.
won't be on tonight. I think Jeremy's down in Gallenberg.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw some pictures he posted and taken of him and him taking and
Yeah.
yeah, I wish he could have been there.
I
But
need Sean to hurry up and get back so we can order some more stuff from her.
was she on vacation or something?
She just got back from Florida and now she's down in Gallenberg.
Yeah. Damn, I guess there was a lot of people there. Yeah, I wish he could have been there.
Yeah.
I would, if I could have gone
Uh,
last night, it'd been good. I just couldn't drive down just for today and then drive back. I mean, 7, 8 hours on the road.
no.
I love
Financially, I just
Alfredo
couldn't
and
do it.
Doug, but
Not with that ticket
man,
coming
that's a
up and
lot of
shit.
yeah. But with storm
Yeah.
coming, and it's going to Florida tomorrow.
And then
Uh,
oh, is she?
Yeah, and I was going to
Why ain't
go.
you going?
Well, because my buddy passed
Oh, you
away.
were?
My best friend
Oh, yeah,
passed
that's
away.
right. Yeah.
So got to stick around for that. But what I hope doesn't happen is I don't get to go to Florida, and then I stick around to go to the funeral, and we get the 12 inches of snow we're supposed to get, and then I'm not able to go to the funeral.
Oh, yeah,
Because
you're supposed to get all
12
that.
inches, 12 inches of snow and fucking ice. So I know what's going to happen. I'm fucked both ways. I won't get to go to my buddy's funeral, and I won't get to
Yeah.
go to Florida. That's just my life. Welcome to my life.
Yeah, but they'll hold the funerals later on, weather permitting. Um, yeah, you're supposed to get 12 up to 12 inches.
Yeah.
We're supposed to get 3 to
And
4, I
ice,
think,
and
or up
ice,
to 3.
and ½ inch to 3/4 inch of
But
ice.
plus ice, so
I mean, it's so
yeah.
bad. I pulled my generator out today. I hadn't started. I'm gonna start it tomorrow and change the oil and get it ready because chances I got to dig out somewhere. I've got my wire where I plug into it, go into the box. Yeah. I gotta find that
That's what I
wire.
meant to have done. I meant to have my generator wired into my fuse box. So all I got to do is go over, flip the
Well, I
breaker,
mean, you can
start
make a
it up, and my
wire
house
to
is
where you can
wired.
just turn your fuse box off and just wire it into the fuse box and leave the panel main off and just put power into the bar, in the bus. But
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't fuck with electrical. I got too much steel in my
yeah,
body.
I do all kinds of
It
electrical and
hurts a little bit more.
wired houses, and
Well,
you gotta
me, I
know
fuck
what
with
you're doing.
electrical, and I get poked. Goes all them
Yeah,
spots of. I got the implants.
yeah. I've
It
been
lays me out
electrocuted
flat.
playing, trying to wire live. It's not that bad unless you hit 220. It gets a little worse. Then
Uh,
yeah.
so
67
to
in
run
Central
that
Ohio.
corn liquor
Yeah,
in there.
we're south. We're gonna get slammed right through. I mean, it's coming right through Indiana, Louisville, Lexington,
What
Central
what
Kentucky, and straight across.
what's fucked up is the way it's all been. There's different waves going through.
Yeah,
Like you're gonna get
yeah.
12, we're gonna get up to 3 with ice. South of me ain't gonna get shit, but rain.
Well, I say south of
You
us,
know,
instead of the snow, they'll get more ice. So we're right on the
yeah,
line.
that's
We're
me.
always
Yeah,
I-64 is always right on the line of ice, if you ever noticed. And it's because of the way the mountains are, and Lexington's kind of on the edge always because it's up on a plateau, and when those mountains
right.
come in and they hit low lying mountains that contain all this, precipitation, snow stuff, they come in and hit those plateaus. They kind of channel to each kind of side. It's like a mountain. And that's what they do here. So it'll go south of us and right along that edge, man, right along 64. There's a ridge line.
My damn dogs are looking out the patio door at me like, "Let me out there."
Yeah, there's deer.
I got to run that mash tomorrow. I think I'm gonna. That'll
Well, you
heat up
got
my
mashed
block
in.
building to where. Yeah, I got my corn mashed in. Remember, it finally
I posted
broke 10,
links if anybody wants to jump in here. You're welcome to jump in.
Where's Lisa?
Yeah, the Queen still owns half the land up there. Yeah, man, I wish we could have taken Alaska and it been part of the United States so I could travel there freely. Well, more so
Yeah.
freely than I do. It's beautiful. I love Canada. Alaska, northern. Did I say Alaska?
Hey,
Yeah.
send me that link for this one.
StreamYard.
Or I'll just send this one.
Yeah.
Larry Bender.
Well, yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a good little storm. What they call it, the solar plunge, and what's these new words that we've now polar vortex. That's it. The polar vortex. I don't remember ever hearing that shit growing up. Now all of a sudden every year there's a polar vortex on the weather, man. Anything to kind of excite it, make it, you know, snow again. Yeah.
So Larry Parker link.
Water circulator.
Oh, Lisa
Are you
said she'll
trying
be
to
there after dinner.
okay? Are you trying to circulate the water in your flake stand or where your worm is? Cool. Yeah, never know, man. Sometimes they say it's shit and we won't get nothing. And sometimes they say it and we do. More often than not, we don't. So let's hope that's one of those times. But yeah, they do tend to. I don't know. I guess they want everybody to be prepared. So it's best to be prepared for the worst and be happy when it's not as bad as it thought. But circulating water for what, Mike? What's going on, Toby? No expert at what? What's going on, Mikey? Okay, so the best way to cool a worm is if it's actually enclosed. That way, whatever water you force in there gets forced right back out through the outlet and back into your reservoir. So if you can encapsulate your flake stand where it can take some water pressure, that's the best
What am I
way,
gonna do?
because you don't have to worry about it draining out, and you don't have to worry about rate. You can just adjust the flow of water to the coolness that you need, and for whatever goes in, yeah, yeah, using the pump, or whatever goes in comes out. But if you have just like a flake, sometimes a lot of the Vever stuff is a little bit on the undersized part, and it really needs more water circulation than the exit line will allow it to come out of the top. So it's better to either add a larger line at the top, or basically get work on a better worm. I'm not sure. Is this a small Vever 3-pot steel, or is it a bigger worm with a 55-gallon barrel? What are we dealing with? Yeah, it'd be fun. I remember when I was younger, I was always stoked that it was going to be snowing. I used to snow ski and snowboard, and actually my shoulder started accident and tore my shoulder up was from skiing. But yeah, I love skiing and the double black diamonds and all that stuff when I was younger. But when you get younger and get older, it's not so cool. So it's a 25-gallon, like a garbage can, or a big plastic barrel. If yeah, 25-gallon, like a
All
barrel or
right, that's
something.
good.
If you can have the port coming out like an inch and a half PVC or something that's rather large, that you can go back to your reservoir and then use your pond pump to go in through the bottom and just connect to a regular, water line hose or something like that at the bottom of your barrel. Yeah, I mean, just whatever PVC, because this doesn't come in contact with alcohol or anything like that. So, this is just for water circulation. So, yeah, PVC, or just a large flex pipe. You just want it to be larger than the inlet and be able to handle a decent volume of water. That way you can increase the flow depending on the temperature of the water that you're circulating. See, because the higher the temperature of the water you're circulating, the more you need to circulate it, to try to keep it regulated. The cooler it is, the slower you can go. But once it gets heated up, it'll warm up throughout the whole cycle, and you just got to drop jugs of ice in it to kind of keep it. But keeping it around 65, 60 to 75 in that range, generally pretty good temperatures.
I
But
run
yeah,
my
just
city water through my condenser, and I stay right at 60,
right.
65.
Well, if you've got like a shotgun condenser, that's like a sealed canister, worm. You get whatever you pump in gets pumped out. So, or a Liebig, same way, whatever you pump in immediately gets pressured out. So you don't have to worry about flow, and you don't have to worry about drainage because it's behind pressure. It's getting forced out. But when you have an open flake stand and a worm, it changes. Then you have to depend on that top pipe to drain whatever you're putting in there. You, of course, have to turn the flow off, or
Hold
it's
on a
going to
second. I gotta take
overflow.
this call.
So, or else it's going to overflow, right? So, it's best to have a larger output at the top of your flake. And I say inch and a half. It could be, you can put PVC that just screws on and just goes out the side to whatever you want it
Hello.
to. Put a little 45 on it, and
My
have it come out and do
podcast.
that. And
Yeah, right. You can talk to me for a minute. Santa's talking.
I'm trying to mute your mics.
That's all right.
It won't let me. There we go. So if you want your water to come in at the bottom of your flake of your barrel. So when you come into the bottom, or go in through the top with a hose and
I love
run
you. Bye.
straight down it and feed it to the bottom. But if which is probably better, that way you don't have that hole and have to worry about it leaking at the bottom there. If you just come in through the top and have the line pushed all the way down to the bottom, that way when it outlets, it goes into the bottom. Either way, it's best to have the cooler water at the bottom, and the heat will rise and 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 drain out the top. And at the top, if you can put, what's the noise in the background there, Raj?
Oh, me?
Yeah,
Well, I don't
that
know.
radio or TV?
Well,
Sounds like a radio or TV on in the background.
Well,
Okay, that's
that was
good.
my phone. I couldn't get it shut off.
Oh, oh.
Um,
So, so you got it drained at the top, and but if you've got water flowing in from the bottom, eventually, if you have an exhaust at the other side, it's not going to be able to keep up with the water that you got coming in. If it's the same size, unless you're, got a pump trying to, pump inside there, trying to pump it out as you're pumping in. Then it's the balancing game of the pumps, trying to balance each one. That sucks. So it's best just to have a larger outlet at the top, like an inch and a half PVC coming out of it, and then, have it drain to your reservoir and just, input from the bottom. That way you can increase your flow if you're not getting enough flow. But also using, jugs of ice will cut down on how much flow you need going into it, because it'll kind of, keep things cool in there and keep your water that you do circulate slowly cold enough. So I always keep some milk jugs and 2-liter bottles and stuff like that frozen and ready just to drop right in there, or water bottles, depending. I mean, if you got like the small Vever, you can only use like a little you know, drinking bottles. You have a bunch of those frozen. They fit perfectly right down in the middle of that little worm that comes with. But those are tough. Those are tough to keep regulated. So if you learn on one of those, man, you can run a bigger system, no problem at all.
that's what I started with, that little worm bucket, little onion
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
like a little
Well, I
salt
mean,
soup pan or
the
something.
the one that comes with like the football steels, it's contained. It's a canister filter, and it's got like a
Oh,
stainless
is it?
steel worm, inside a canister. Which if it wasn't negatively sloped, it'd be pretty cool. But mine had a little bit of a, not all of them might, but mine had like a little negative slope, and it gurgled through. So I hated that. So I got rid of it. Well, I don't use it. I didn't get rid of it. But what's going on, Tim? Yeah, you definitely want to use a palm pump. Pumping through. Yeah, you just want the one pump pumping into, you know, the barrel, but have a what output do you have? It same size, like a garden hose size outlet at the top and bottom, which most do. If so, I
That's the
just
one
cut a
I
bigger
had.
hole. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can drop
What are you talking about then?
drop
Just like
drop
that.
the little drink. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
a little
see,
water bottle
that,
right in
that
there. Yeah.
what I think so funny on those is why would they put a valve on the top one that goes back?
Right. I
What
never
what
understood that
purpose does
either.
that serve? It's like why? I mean, if you want to regulate flow, you just regulate flow with the bottom one that's inputting, right? So I mean, you have to anyway, because but who'd want to
And you
regulate
have to
how
give
it
time.
drains?
If you wanted to use that top one, you got to try and get them timed, both of them
Yeah,
together.
I mean,
So
and why?
for the
You want
pain
it
in
to
the
drain
ass.
out as fast as
Right.
it can, so it
Right.
trying to adjust it's yeah,
That's for the
it's
ones that have
smart.
that put their feet line on the top.
Right. Well, yeah, you want feed line on the bottom, going in the bottom and draining out the top.
Well, I know,
But
but you always got the ones that
yeah, yeah, some people do, unless they know.
you know.
That's way then they find out that yeah, the most efficient way is go through the bottom. I tell you, the palm pump that I'm
Go on, Mike.
Vivo Sun on Amazon, they make a really good little palm pump, and it's used a lot in the growing industry for hydroponics and stuff too. And those people run it pretty much 24/7, and they, most of the growers they kind of prefer those little Vivo Suns, and it's adjustable. Um, the one that comes with your Vevers is trash. Yeah, it worked fine as long as your reservoir is about the same height as your steel.
Actually,
But if it had to pump up like 2 feet, dude, it was done. It wouldn't work. It sucked. But
mine works
yeah,
pretty damn good. I still got my first one I got.
when it came with the
I
Vever,
run but I don't use it. I don't use mine to film for my worm anymore. It's
right?
strictly for transferring mash or
Oh
whatever.
yeah, for something like that, for wine or something. I mean, it's slow, but that's fine. But you talking about the little black one that came with your Vever steel?
Yeah, the little 1 inch
Yeah,
by.
yeah. Man, I
Yeah,
got my column set up, and I was just inside going from the sink to the top of the column, and it would not fucking do it. So
yeah,
yeah, it doesn't have good head height. I mean, it pumps fine as long as it doesn't have to pump up. You know, it doesn't have that head. It just doesn't have that pressure
yeah,
to go upward. You know, but the little Vivo Suns that they got on Amazon, it's the smallest one they got. It's adjustable. You know, it doesn't take a lot of water. Unless you got like a huge steel that you're filling up or a huge, worm or something. You got a big setup, but generally,
yeah.
most of your
As long as,
columns.
long as I stay running with the tap water, I just I got a hose running in through the wall of my showering room and to my condenser, and then one draining right out the same hole.
Yeah,
So I just adjust my flow right off my valve on the wall.
yeah. So what do you have another barrel that you're pumping from, or a cooler or something?
Who you talk to?
No, the pump won't. As long as no, it won't burn up. Um, 14 for 25. That's a bit of a time. That you run your tails all the way down. Not running them all the way down.
Nah, that won't
Well,
burn that pump up.
no, it won't. No, those pumps will go
No.
forever. Yeah,
Hell, like I said, I've
yeah,
had my that the when I first bought my Velver 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I still got that pump.
yeah.
I use the shit out of it.
I wouldn't put any much faith into the Vever pump, but I know the Vivo Suns and a lot of those ones that the hydroponics guys use. They use them 24/7. Some of them use them 24/7 and just constant pumping for like years, and no problem. So as long as you're not, trash, as long as you don't have a lot, you know, getting a lot of, your mash in it, a lot of fruit chunks or something. That'll
The way I
probably
prevented that is the way I
yeah, you
prevented
take
that is I took an old screen,
yeah,
one of the old
yeah,
metal screens I had at the house, cut it out to make a filter all the way around it. It works
yeah,
great. I never get any trash up inside it, and
yeah. Or tie a little brew bag around it or a little cheesecloth.
or
Yeah,
the brew bags they tend
it's
to
best.
once they
Well, the
get
best thing
clogged
to
up
do,
on the outside.
best thing to do for me is I rack. I just use suction and just like siphoning gas. I siphon it over. You can use the little wine siphoners. And I just siphon it over and I'll keep that tube right next to that yeast bed at the bottom. And I'll let it drain all the way out without upsetting that yeast bed any and get all of it out till I get like an inch or two from the yeast bed. Then I'll pull that hose out and then I'll just dump everything that's left in there into a brew bag that's in another barrel. And then I'll just tie the top to that and I'll strain it as best I can. And I'll take it over to the mop wringer and, start wringing it out. And that usually works pretty well. If you want to get that last bit out, then you can take what's left in that brew bag, boil it up, kill all the yeast and everything in it, use it for nutrients. I just talk about whatever everybody wants to talk about, Richard. We got some people asking some questions. Absolutely, Michael. Go ahead. Anybody got any other questions? Shoot them at us. Or opinions.
Why are your
That's
cheeks so rosy tonight?
Michael. That water here in the city thinks the water's made of gold. Yeah, I know. You get out and some of these dry areas like California, man, they'll take you to jail for misuse of that water, man. They go crazy. But yeah, if you recycle or circulating is the best way to do it. I mean, just go from one barrel to the next and or from a cooler, and keep your ice and jugs in that and just keep it circulated good. But a lot of people think you have to keep that water colder than you do. But it is pretty much 100% relevant to the size of the worm. Like the one Rogers worm there, that small worm of Rogers that he just showed, that's not very good.
That's
You need it.
I've never
You
used
need
this.
that's
This has
real.
never been used.
Yeah, but
I bought
those are
I
inadequate
bought I
doses
bought
anyway.
I bought that 3 gallon Velver. I just needed one part off of it, so I bought the whole
Yeah,
still. You can't
yeah.
find the nuts and
I
bolts
mean,
anywhere.
those are good pots for just the pot itself. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Vevers. Just need to be replumbed. The gaskets on those three pots are bad, and the plumbing's not the best. But once in the size of the worm was way undersized. But once you
No,
get that done, makes a decent little boiler. I mean, what more you
yeah,
want?
that
It boils the liquid that's in it. What more could you ask for? And it does it without
the
leaking.
that my 18-gallon pot that I got through Velver, my very first one. That's my cooker.
Hmm.
What I use to cook my corn in. My 3-gallon, I use that for whatever. That's what I usually invert my sugar in.
Michael,
I mean, it's
yeah, yeah, you
yeah,
can
but
use
you
a
can grind your
spigot. You
corn to
can use a
whatever size
spigot.
you want.
Yeah,
Just
you can use a spigot, or you get adjustable
uh,
pump. A lot of the pumps, the Vivo set I was talking about is an adjustable one, so you can adjust the flow on that. But like Scott says, if you get a palm pump that doesn't have a adjustable flow, good idea. Put a spigot on the bottom, use your hose, go right into your spigot, and use it as a valve.
who was
Good deal.
asking?
Okay, when I
Who
grind my
was
corn, I
who
grind it
was
to
it
the
asking
size of
the
a
question
BB.
about corn grinding?
Michael, yeah, Michael here. Well, actually, we got two. When I grind my corn, grind it the size of
You
BB.
can
If you get it to the size of a BB,
you can
chances
grind
are
it.
you're also going to have a lot of powder. So yeah, that's fine. That's definitely good. I mean, each kernel, if you bust it up more than 6 times, 7 times, and yeah, that's you want it fairly
I've
granular.
I've
A lot
tried
of
it.
people like
I've
powder.
tried it. I've tried it every way from a powder right up to just cracking it.
As far
Running through
as
my mill grinder once. Not even a tight grind. I prefer to run it to where it's a little bigger than, let's say, a BB. A little bit
yeah,
bigger than
I
that.
think a BB fine because that's something that falls out pretty quickly. It's just not powdery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
It's
what
you just
he's
don't
saying
want to
is
go powder. I mean,
right,
I found the powder bad. I mean, it's so much of
right.
a pain in the ass to get your wash out of me. I mean, there's so much more work involved.
Yep. And if you're grinding it to a BB size, how much powder you getting besides those BBs?
I,
So if you know
Mine
that's
ain't
that
too bad. I mean, I grind it like I said. I grind mine a little bigger than a BB.
yeah, because you don't want as much powder. But that's what I'm saying. If the
No,
biggest thing that you're getting out of your grinder is a BB size, then you're gonna have a lot of small stuff go with it. So yeah, I'd shoot for a little larger than BB size for the largest that comes out, to cut down on powder. But if you want to, I mean, if you don't like the cloudiness and dealing with all the cloudiness and having to wait for it to settle out and do all that, you can do a heavier grit, but and you can take
I grind
screen
mine
some
about
of
the
it. You
size
can screen it
of a
out.
screw head or something.
Well, yeah, you can screen out the fine stuff and use it in the kitchen. I mean, it's cornmeal. I mean, I see
Yeah.
people using it to make cornbread all the time. I saw a buddy of mine post the other day, Indian red cornmeal. So Bloody Butcher cornmeal, why not? It's good. So yeah, I mean, I would shoot for maybe a little bit bigger grain than a BB, but as long as you don't get a lot of powder, I don't like dealing with a lot of powder, but having some, is going to help with conversion too. The finer it is, the easier it's going to be to convert, but it's just going to be more powder to deal with later. How many
All right,
pounds
that
of
would be
grain
the first
corn
one.
do you use per gallon? Like 10 gallons. It's about 2.5 and 3, between 2.5 to 3 pounds of grain per gallon. If you're doing all corn, I'd say closer to 3. If you got, a lot of barley and oats and wheat and other things going in there, then probably a little less to keep it from getting thick because the wheat and the oats and stuff can get pretty gummy.
Well, I'm gonna be the first one to call it shots.
Yeah, I thought somebody already had.
Well, I don't see where.
I
It's so
posted
hard
the link. This,
to keep up.
uh,
I don't
yeah, 2 to 3
with
pounds.
all the links to all
2 to 3
the other
pounds.
pages. It's hard to get the questions all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna get a brew bag and seep your corn, you can do it right down to a cornmeal or powder.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get you some screening and kind of screen it out. It's a good thing to do, make you biscuits, make you some cornmeal. Good. Better than the stuff you get in the stores if it's good fresh yellow dent. Yeah.
Well, what else? What other question we got?
Yeah, with corn it
Richard
takes
Henderson asked, "You use a mop ringer to strain?" Santa does. I don't. I do it the old-fashioned way.
I used to let it sit and hang into a bucket. Just put it on a ladder and let it hang over a bucket all night.
Yeah.
Is that how you did it,
You
Roger?
use a mop ringer, don't you? Me? No.
Now I do. Yeah, now I
Brute,
do. I used to let it
me,
hang.
it's all brute strength, and I just, I'll put it in
You just
a
squeeze it.
brew
You just
bag and
squeeze
I'll
it
squeeze the shit out of
down.
it.
Yeah, it just tugs up there, squeeze it
I
out.
I I uh, I pump as much of the liquid out as I can out of my fermenter, and then I'd start scooping the corn up and put it in a brew bag and just muscle it all the way down.
Yeah, I,
I get probably
it really
85% of my
depends.
wash.
So if I'm getting ready to mash right back in, I just leave it right in there and use it to help feed the
Well, yeah,
nests.
if I'm doing a sour mash, yeah.
Yeah, if it's all grain, it doesn't matter if I'm sour mashing off. If it's all grain, I'm gonna leave it in there and get at least another run out of it. Maybe put some fresh on top of it. Use all that dead yeast and what live yeast is in there. You don't even have to add more yeast. It'll just take right back off.
I'll do like my sour mash. I just leave
I
all
might
my
not
old
have
in
started.
anyways.
I get 5 gallons off of 25 of mash. It starts at 140 or so, and I stop at 70. Then I mix it all together. I probably get 3 pounds of powder, 30 pounds, I guess 3 gallons, you meant to say, of heart. Wait a minute. Three. Oh, you talking about in the bottom of it? I follow you up to, I get 3 pounds of powder on 30 pound of corn. But the 5 gallons off of 25, is that you're talking from heads to 70 or hearts to 70? Because that's a lot if you're going hearts to 70. So you must have a pretty good proof going in. So
Where are you getting all these questions at or comments at?
I was just reading down through here. This was Michael's at 8:35. I missed it. And he
Well,
was
I
just
mean,
hearts to 70, and you're getting 5 gallons. That's awesome. You must have some pretty good. What are you running? Just is this like rum or high sugar? I'm guessing corn because he's asking. So this is more a lot of sugar. Okay. So do you have a hydrometer where you can take the gravity, when you get ready to throw in your yeast and stuff? Corn liquor. Wow. Now, are you adding sugar? Okay. Um, do you use the hydrometer? Is that what the yes was to, or are you using sugar? I don't know what the yes is to.
I'm trying to figure out.
Okay, well, let's backtrack. Let's go now. When do you have a hydrometer? Okay. What was the reading what was your original gravity, your starting gravity?
Cloud kicker, call shots. Well, shit. I'll do
Yeah,
shot
it's
tough.
like you're gonna have to get something. He didn't remember us from last
Well,
time, but we'll drink another one.
I'm gonna drink some of. I think I'm gonna drink some of this coffee liquor.
So what was the reading, Michael, if you can remember? like 1.080, 1.120 or something. Oh, it's been a year. Okay. The reason I ask is five gallons out of 25 gallons is that's a lot of that's a lot. So if you're doing that, you you maybe not taking enough cuts, deep enough. Really, with hearts all the way into the tails and everything, for 25 gallons to have 5%, that'd almost be at least 20% going in, and you're getting everything out. So that would be I'd say you started at a really high gravity. Um, in which case, you're lucky you got it all to ferment. I guess probably using an EC 1118 or some really high end yeast, maybe even a turbo or something that can go that high. Um, but that's really high. It's good to get that kind of volume, but at the same time, it's not good to get that kind of volume because usually that means there was a lot of sugar and there was a lot of yeast stress and a lot of other things, maybe even turbo yeast and other things involved that would tend to hurt the quality of the product. So there's a happy medium between getting maximizing yield and maintaining a good quality. And for different people it's different. Some people can drink the hottest hottest liquor with some heads in it, say it's not bad, and drink it and like it. And some people couldn't swallow it. So not everybody tastes the same, or expectations are the same. But generally with 25, with a 20-gallon mash, you can expect, probably a couple of gallons of good, hearts down to 70, 80 or 70 or 80 and mixed up, be fine. Um, but that's 25, adding, that's a pretty high yield.
Did you take care of these shots yet, or are we still waiting on those?
3 pounds. I already took my 3 pounds of sugar per gallon. Now that's
No.
probably one of the reasons why that will give you probably a 2.13 or 2. That's going to be a 1.1 something. Um, yeah, it's going to be a pretty high starting gravity. What's going on, Thomas? Yeah, I miss coming down, man. I wish I could have been down there, man.
Oh, Tom Crummy?
Yeah, it's good to see you, brother.
What's going on,
I wish
Tom?
I could have been down there.
Uh,
See the Teen
I don't
Wolf.
even see where
But
I
yeah,
don't even
3 pounds
see
of sugar per
where your
gallon is
message
going to
is.
put you to 1.105 or something. It's going to put you pretty high. Use your, yeah, I'd say you did. Yeah, just use your hydrometer and try to, start at about 1.060 to 1.080. If you're using corn, you want a good corn flavor. Go 160 to 180. Don't push any past 180, and expect
Where?
a couple of gallons out of 20. They were down. Well, they were down at Sugarlands today, Mr. Crumb.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Tom couldn't make it. That violating ticket I got me worried. I got to make sure I have enough
Yeah,
money to cover that.
yeah, Scott.
And
It'd be
then,
3 would definitely put it about a 1.12 or somewhere. Sounds about right. It's pretty high.
Joe, where are
Yeah,
you getting all these?
microphone
Where's all these questions coming in at?
on the comments on StreamYards coming in from YouTube and Facebook. You
Well,
looking at
you get like
Facebook comments? You looking at Facebook comments or
I'm
is it
looking.
StreamYard?
I'm looking at the one off. I'm looking at my page's comments, and then the StreamYard here on my laptop.
Yeah, look at well, you
I don't
can you
see
see the
half the ones
comments
you're
on
talking about,
StreamYard? I
huh?
don't know. Yeah,
Yeah, I see
yeah,
the one
that's
on.
awesome, brother.
on
That's awesome. I mean, get that kind of yield. I mean, oak helps a lot. Putting it on oak and aging it helps a lot. So, you know, absolutely.
hell, you ain't interrupting us,
Good,
Tom.
good. Not at all, brother. Jump right on in
Wish
if
we
you
were
need.
down there.
Post a link.
Yeah, you know me. My bedtime be coming up here in a few hours.
It's past your bedtime already.
Nah,
Doing the chips, cool. I use barrel staves. I've got and barrels in the regular little stainless barrels. But I tend to use barrel staves a lot. I got a buddy of mine that makes furniture and stuff with barrels and makes artwork with it, and all the little teeny blocks and stuff he doesn't use. He bags them up for me, and I get them in here. I'll torch the shit out of them all around, and yeah, yeah, I'll char them up good and use them. Yeah, yeah, we do. Love you, brother. Yeah, we got to get our calendar set up. They're working on that now, trying to get all the dates. So if anybody knows any dates, post them in the militia page, Moonshine Militia on Facebook. If you have festivals locally that's moonshine related or distilling related or like farm to bottle distilling related, legal or illegal, we don't care. We'll, we'll drink at any festival. But yeah, post them in the group so we can add it to the calendar of events, and you can get your little town represented in the calendar and all the events going on across the nation. I know most little towns have it, so if you've got one that honors distilling or even the reenactment of the Whiskey Rebellion, we'd love it.
oh, that's going on right here at my house.
Square barrel, you know, it it's been done. It's fine. You know, they made them round so they could transport them because it's awful hard to make like wheelbarrows and stuff back in the 1800s before they had cars and all that shit to get them around. And that's really how they used to have to get them around and roll them. You know, that's why they made them round is just to transport, make it easy to get because it's hard any other way. You know, it's I can't imagine any other reason that and to handle the pressure, you know, inside and everything, but primarily for transporting and storage. You know, they do pretty good between two flats. So, but yeah, they work. I've seen them before. You know, they're kind of unique, but yeah, they work fine. You know, the pressure is not going to be the same all the way around like it is on a band. So the corners are going to get more pressure than in the middle is going to tend to want to pop out. You know, where there's not a middle on a barrel. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. You know, storing it, moving it, and keeping it long term and moving it around. I think a square one would be over time might want to bow a little bit on the flats. But if you had something inside or something to keep it from separating and moving, it'd probably be okay. But then you'd have to deal with a piece of stainless rod through your distillate for 9 years. Kentucky, Tennessee, off 75. You're not far from London area and Jellicoe. I'm from Lexington. Roger lives in Eastern Kentucky. We're both from Kentucky, and you got a lot of people on here. Tom, he's from Tennessee.
Damon, Tennessee.
Damon, Tennessee. Lisa, Maine.
Bunch of them from Ohio.
Yeah, a whole bunch from Ohio. All over. We're from all over, man.
I think I got a friend from at least from
Frenchburg.
almost
Oh, yeah.
every state of the union.
Yeah. Yeah, in the Frenchburg. Well, in fact, what's her name?
Bengals, the Bengals 10, Steelers 7. In case you want to
Heather
know
Heather
the
French was
scores.
from Frenchburg, wasn't she?
Who?
Yeah, Heather French, one Miss America, a friend of mine and my
Oh,
sister's.
I don't know.
I think she might have been from around there. I think she was. Heather Renee French. Yeah. Yeah, Frenchburg. I went to school in Moorhead, so yeah, not far.
How did you go to college there? Was it? Yeah, 'cause
A
high school you did
Tabasco
here.
hot sauce barrel, man. That'd be pretty good now. Put you
What? A
some
what?
uh, put you some vodka in there.
We talking about
Hogging and talking
Tabasco
about
hot sauce barrel.
aging in Tabasco hot sauce barrel. Hell yeah, man.
That'd be
Put
different.
put you
I
s-
mean, I like
put you
hot
some
stuff.
yeah, put you some vodka in there, man, and use it to make Bloody Marys. Fuck yeah. That'd be some awesome Tabasco.
Just dedicate a small barrel for strictly Bloody Mary. Put all your
Yeah,
spices and your
yeah.
everything
Or
in it.
any spicy drinks, hell, I think would make a damn good Bloody Mary, wouldn't you? That's
That'd
it.
be different.
Was it Maysville? Yeah. Later, Michael. Well, have a good one at work tomorrow, man.
Move out of here.
Holler
Or
at us.
Fran.
Yeah, Michael.
Fran.
Yeah, holler at us Wednesday with any more questions you got. We'll be back on.
Gotta work on a Sunday. That's sacrilegious.
Well, he might preach. What do you think?
Huh?
Would that be sacrilegious if you was a pastor?
I don't know about that.
They work on Sunday, don't they?
That's a good question. That was a good question. Next time I go to church, I'll ask pastor. God
Maple
damn.
barrel will be all right. Red maple, I don't know, but
I'm looking forward to doing
certain
that.
maple aren't very good for aging.
I'm looking forward to doing that elderberry green tea run.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty fucking good.
the elderberry makes a good wine. You're not gonna ferment the green tea too, are you?
No, I'm gonna fuse that.
Okay, I was gonna say I'm not sure I'd do that, but yeah, I'd say it'd be pretty good.
Yeah, ferment the elderberry and then just ferment the
I
green
know
tea.
elderberry makes good wine, and it's a good fruit to combine with others to make wine because it gives it a
Right.
certain flavor and depth and unique taste, especially if you like a drier wine.
I planted an
More
elderberry
in that.
bush 2 years ago and the fucking deer ate it.
Yeah, they're good
Bitch.
for that.
And Terry
Now,
planted,
is
I
it is it
forget what
is that?
bushes up there.
I'd find out what the maple barrel was. I mean, what was it used for before, and um, is it red maple or what type maple is it? Cool. All right, brother, we'll be on here, man. We Friday, Saturday, and Wednesday.
Concrete
Same
polishing.
same bat channel. Yeah, cool.
That'd be interesting. Concrete polishing.
On the 18
I've
gallon
got an
version.
18 gallon. I've got an 18 gallon, and I liked it. That's what I started off on.
You talking about the football
Um,
or three pot?
you know, I didn't have no problem buying it. It made good liquor.
You you
I
got the three
mean,
pot, didn't you?
me, yeah.
Yeah. I got the football and he got the three
But
pot.
I turned around right after I got it, and I went to a copper thumper, and then I went to a copper condenser. I got those all through James Hatfield. Um, Made my own arms and stuff. It worked out. It worked great. I mean, I ran a lot of liquor through it.
Yeah, man, that's funny shit. I used to watch him all the time, man.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelled of
Smelled metal
elderberry.
patties. You gotta say it with an English
What the
accent.
fuck?
You never heard that?
No.
Shit.
Gotta be talking about you, Santa.
Huh?
My mama wasn't no hamster. What be talking about you? My mama wasn't no hamster.
Yeah. I'm
She was a gerbil.
I'm trying to think of the damn name of him, and it's my old mind.
What?
the show that was on.
No.
And it had the rabbit. Think nothing of it. Nothing but a it's Monty Python.
Oh,
Fuck. Thank you.
oh. Yeah, I didn't watch much.
Yeah.
Monty, I wasn't too thrilled with him.
It's hilarious. 5 gallon oak barrel. Oh, absolutely. That's perfect. Maple syrup's fine. Yeah, that make good. Yeah, yeah. White oak, especially. Now, if it's red oak, it probably won't be as good, but it'll make you get red, flushed like that. Redness on your skin. Some people have allergies to it. If I
Like
drink
your
it, man,
rosy
they
cheeks.
come out hives, man. Well, that's because I've been outside 3 days, freezing fucking weather, changing brakes, man, with
I
fucking wind chill.
I
I'm
thought you,
getting
I thought you were still in character for Santa. I wasn't sure.
fuck yeah. Oh yeah, I got my rouge on, man. That's Maybelline. But yeah, man, I get outside in the wintertime, man. I fucking redden right up. Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man. Holy Grail's killing. Life of Brian, all of them are funny as fuck. I'd use them.
What do you?
I mean, I'd say if it was used for maple, that it may not be charred on the inside. Are the barrels
I wouldn't
charred?
say so.
Are they just storage barrels, or are they charred?
I've never heard of syrup. I've never heard of aged
Yeah, well,
syrup. Well,
right. Well, I mean, just
I never
for
really.
the smoky flavor or something. But I would say it is charred.
Well,
Awesome. Then I'd absolutely
huh.
use them 100%. And as soon as the char didn't add much to my liquor after a few years, um, how many gallons? 5 gallons. That's cool. Yeah, that won't take a long time to age properly. Maybe a year as opposed to 3 and a 53, because you'll have probably a little bit better surface area. Just like using the sticks and stuff in your jars, it's a pretty large surface area. So the larger, excuse me, surface area you have, the less time it's going to take. Also, um, the more tannins you tend to get, and the less characteristics from the wood. So the larger barrels over a much longer time is definitely going to be preferential to the smaller the barrel over the shorter time. But um, both work really well, and it take a pretty sophisticated palate a lot of times to tell the difference. Um, yeah, I'd absolutely use those things. In fact, I think you should send me a sample so we can do some experiments on that. I think 3 or 4 of those samples. we can we can experiment with them and find out the best way to do it. But yeah, those should work awesomely, man. It add a nice, good flavor to it and make it good and sweet. Hell, you could put rum, tequila, bourbon, um, yeah, anything in there, man. Rum or bourbon, but I guess a maple tequila, that'd be different. I like the tequila kind of bitter, but the rum and bourbons I tend to like weeded and a little on the sweeter side. A little bit of sweetness to them. I don't mind old rye either. Okay, back to the 18-gallon still. I'm not sure who. Let's scroll back here. Who asked about that? Okay. Uh, Back to the 18-gallon steel. They make two. Vapor makes two. They make a 3-pot. Actually, I think they make a 2-pot as well. And then they make what's called a football steel. And the football steel will have like a football shaped head on top of it and a little canister filter on the side we were talking about earlier. And it has like a lid that comes up and has like a 1.5 inch, or I'm sorry, 2 inch ferrule that you can attach a tri clamp to, which makes them really, really versatile and a pretty handy little. It's an excellent starter um, pot. It's not the best, it's not the sturdiest. I mean, it's not as solid as a beer keg, nowhere near. But you can heat them on a stove. I've heated mine on those glass top stoves that has the infrared, and they do well. I don't know if I do it on this was a Frigidaire. I don't know if I do it on a. It's pretty cheap, so
Are you, are
some
you
may
talking about
some
the
may be able to
question you
handle the
got
weight, some
posted?
won't. Or yeah, you can run them anyway. But because it has that ferrule on the top, you can run that football for like brandies and whiskeys and things like that with low reflux, or you can get in a column to attach to it. Um, and in the column, you can get some reflux and add deflagmators and shotgun condensers and all that. But with the football, you can also it has a 2 inch, I'm sorry, 2.5 inch ferrule. Um, it's an odd size, so you have to get a reducer. But it has a 2.5 on the side and on the bottom, and you get a 2.5 to two, and you can go to regular tubing, into a shotgun condenser, or step it down and go into 5/8 worm or whatever you wanted to. But their three pots have, it's basically
Now,
just a pot that you
are you talking
clamp
about?
down. Uh,
I was
but
asking if you're talking about that question you had posted up here.
yeah, about the Vever, yeah. Um, so
Yeah.
on the three pot Vever though, on the top of it, they've got like fittings that go into like a flex pipe, and in between the fittings and the actual stainless lid, there's little gaskets, and those tend to break, and when you over tighten it, which a lot of people do because they want to make a good seal, it'll a lot of times snap those, and those are good to upgrade. I'm not a I'm not fond, or I'm kind of skeptical about the flex lines as well. I don't know what they're really uh, made of in China, but I think a good copper in between would be much better, or even the flexible copper that you see on water heaters and stuff um, would be better than that. I don't like the ridges in the flexible lines because it tends to hold heads and kind of flavor the run all the way through. So yeah, it's not as I don't like that as much. But um, with some regular solid copper lines, go from the little stuff up to a 5/8 or something like that you can get rolled. That's kind of soft and pliable that you can, you know, bend around and make work. Yeah, those work pretty
Oh
well. Like
shit.
Roger said, those Vevers come with an undersized uh, condenser, so you'll definitely want to increase the size of that. So it just depends on what you want to do, Uh, but but it's a little bit cheaper to get the three pot version, and they make perfectly fine liquor for beginners. It's a good choice. 18 gallons is a pretty good size. I'd recommend the 13 or 18. Either one of those work well, and you can do it on a stove top. You can use it on your turkey burners. Just be careful what burner you got on your turkey burner so you don't scorch. But um, yeah, you can use it
Or
on
watch
that,
your
or
heat really, really well.
yeah, definitely want to watch it because those jet burners, like on the turkey fryers, that just have like a cone that comes up in one main burner that just kind of focuses all in one spot. Those tend to scorch. I mean, they're hot as fuck. They're great for boiling water and getting your water ready for your grains. It's probably one of the best for that. But for cooking, it's not so good. Smoked sweet potato agave tequila. That sounds awesome. I'd like to try that someday. Now, do you put marshmallows in there with it?
Smokes. Yeah.
Put a
Nah,
little
I didn't do no
marshmallow in
marshmallows.
there.
I just done the smoked sweet tater. It was really good though, man. I mean, sweet taters
Yeah.
got their. I mean, it's a good flavor anyways. But when you
Huh?
have that smoke to them, golly,
Sweet potatoes are awesome, and they're cheap as fuck, and they're awesome. They also
you
have
know,
a lot of people don't realize they also have a lot of amylase in it, and they
uh,
help convert
the
themselves over.
amylases, yeah, they're full of. They got their own amylases. What
Yep,
I did
they're full
is
of.
I use the skins for my amylase.
Yep, yeah, you can. Yeah, you definitely want to put them all in there. and you can add a lot of white potatoes with it, your regular spuds, and it'll help convert your spuds over. But I always throw a little
You know,
extra alpha in there to help
yeah,
work it.
I just done the skins. I had a little alpha, a little more alpha, but it was mainly just straight sweet taters. They come out
Yeah.
real good. I mean, yeah,
Now,
real. I
when
mean,
you cook them, you gotta
eating a smoked tater.
right now when you cook them, you gotta do it real slow. You gotta do it like 150 degrees the whole time. You don't
Yeah,
want to get them
yeah,
those
where you kill
150.
your amylase.
Yeah, you denature your alpha
Yeah,
enzymes in there and your beta enzymes in your potatoes. So
yeah. I think I
it's
smoked them
slow
for.
cook.
I smoked them at 120 for like I don't know 4 hours, 5 hours
Yeah,
until
yeah,
they come out mushy.
yeah. But if you're not depending on the amylase in them, smoke them whatever temperature you want, and boil them and
Yeah.
cook them whatever temperature you want, and just throw some high temp in there to break up the starches and some glucose. When it gets down to about 110, you're good to go.
And I use charcoal or cherry wood for the wood, and you could tell. I mean, it was good and sweet all the way through.
Yeah, cherry's good. Yeah, yeah. That's why I like calling it distilling instead of just moonshining because we making all kinds of shit now, man. We making some of the best brandies and tequilas and whiskeys and rums, spiced rums, gins. You know, I guess everybody can just lumps moonshine in along with that if you ain't paying tax on it. I guess making it yourself.
I do it because the liquor you buy in the stores tastes like shit. Liquor you get backwoods, it's just so much better flavor. So everything about it backwoods is so much better.
Cheaper too. Well, in the long run, not initially, but in the long run. And
Uh, no, I mean I'll swear by mine before I will store bought. I'll put
well,
mine
it
up against
depends.
any store bought.
I've made a lot of good whiskey in my life, but I can't say that I made anything better than that 12-year-old Elijah Craig I drink sometimes. I mean, I ain't
Well,
gonna
no, I'm
lie.
not talking that. I'm talking
I
about
ain't gonna lie, man.
moonshine for moonshine.
I
I'll
mean,
put
like my
mine up
rums,
out
like
of
my
any
rum,
store.
my vodkas. I put my vodka against Tito's or any of those, mid shelf
Yeah,
vodkas any time. Now, some of the top shelfers, they might, some people might prefer it to mine, but shoot, I know it's better than Tito's. I've tasted them side by side, and I smoke Tito's. And rums, yeah, I can
I mean
make a
I
good
went. I
party and all that. But with my whiskeys, a I don't have the patience or the time to wait 9 to 12 years in a barrel. I didn't even own a barrel that long, but
right.
and it doesn't last that long around here. But yeah, it's hard to age it that long
I
for
put
sure.
mine up against Tim Smith. I put it up against Polly Hollow.
Oh, I put just
There's
straight
another
white
one,
my white
and
dog up against
everybody
anybody.
that my white lighting, yeah. But everybody that's was I mean, they chose mine over all the other ones I went up against. And there was one person who didn't, but you could have gave the guy dog piss. He'd have drank it, said it was good. I mean, he was just so fucked up that it didn't matter to him.
Yeah, that's the way some people are. That's why contests, people tasting it. Some people like certain things better than others. And you take it to a different contest and different people like different things. That's why everybody's like, "Oh, that one by far the best," and hell no, that one's not even close. This one's by far the best. And
Yeah,
that's just it's all opinions. That's why a lot of times
yeah,
with
that's all
distilling,
backwoods stat.
distilling, there's not there's some facts, but there's a lot of opinions and there's a lot of methods that all arrive at the same drip. So everybody kind of creates their own way and listens and learns and they find what they find best. Well, it's easy for me if I just do this, or I like it better if I do this, or that was all fine and dandy, but man, I tried some of this yeast, and hell, it's a lot better. Why in the hell would they even use that yeast?
Yeah.
And it's just all a matter of
Right.
opinion and methods, and so you know,
Now, as
a lot
far
of
as going up
times,
against other brandies, I won't. I mean, yeah, there's better brandies than mine as far as like other flavored moonshines. Yeah, there's some that are a lot better than mine. But as far as my clear corn liquor, I mean, going up against the store bought that is. I'm not talking another backwoods.
right? Oh yeah, the store that mellow yellow, the yellow corn or whatever, mellow corn, whatever, mellow
Uh,
corn. Yeah.
Tim Smith, especially. I mean, hell, my worst liquor is better than his store bought.
The climax.
I'd like to try his the liquor he actually put out back when he was in the woods. Before he went legal. Yeah, I'd like to try. It's just like popcorn's liquor. Before it was
Well,
produced in the distillery, I'm sure it was better than back, when he ran it.
it makes you wonder, somehow where does the translation get lost? I mean, where does the flavor get lost between? You think it's just the size of the batch, the size of the still? I mean, you think they're going too far into the heads? What's your thoughts? I mean, it's just a bigger
I think it's
scaled up
what
version of
I
what we
think it's
do.
what the states. I think it's what the states making them add to it. I mean, they're not going. I mean, they obviously ain't going by their backwoods recipe. So it's 101, 50 to another.
That's good, man. They make excellent liquor, that's for sure.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, definitely less hangovers too.
definitely.
I can drink
They
my liquor all night long, won't have a
well, see
hangover. I drink.
the thing about when in the distilleries and stuff, that they know that oak in a barrel will add 60 to 80% of the flavor of that dog, and you can
Yeah,
come out with, what's up, Toby? You can come out with some
Much,
pretty bad
Santa.
white dog, and put it in a damn barrel and make it okay. What's going on, brother? Missed you
yeah.
last night.
Well, I didn't have much service, and I just wanted to pop on and say hi. And I'm fixing to go to bed.
Hey, Toby.
Happy New Year.
But
Did
say
you have a
again,
good
brother.
Christmas? Did you have a good
Uh,
Christmas?
yeah,
Happy New Year, Toby.
Yeah, Happy
Christmas
New
for a single
Year.
man. I'm sure I had a drink or two.
Yeah, I'm sure alcohol was consumed for sure.
And of course, I spent it out here on the road. Out here on the road for New Year's. It's just another day in life. Actually, I went to a crazy bar. It's called Outlaws and Angels up in
Cool.
Idaho. Neat little bar. I stayed
Where you
there
at
for a
Outlaws
right
and
now?
while.
angels. Normally they don't get along very well, do they? It's
Yeah,
like
they do.
all
Yeah.
right, the Algonquins still go there too.
I don't know about that,
Where you at
but
right now, Toby?
I'm in Utah. Just into Utah.
All right.
Was it
How's
80?
the
Was
weather
it
out there?
82? It ain't nothing really. It's clear.
It's not freezing cold and icing yet.
Really?
No, not here.
Damn.
No. I guess I should be able to make. I talked to
Are they
Jeremiah
calling? Are they?
a little bit, and I should be good all the way across Wyoming to Laramie anyway. I'm gonna stop in and
Huh.
see him tomorrow for a minute.
Well,
Then I got
damn.
a
I
skedaddle.
thought. I might look at my damn map again. I thought y'all be in it.
No, no. He's well, according to what Jeremiah said, it's not going to do anything till m- early evening.
So tomorrow,
Tomorrow.
tomorrow
Yeah,
afternoon,
into early evening hours.
because that's Iowa's right next to Nebraska, right?
I was east of Nebraska.
Right.
Mm. Yeah, and I'll drop right down. I'll get all the way across Nebraska and then drop down to Kansas
So
City, pick up I-70 and go across
okay,
Missouri.
I thought
And
that
I know it's going to be
Arkansas.
fucked.
I thought Arkansas was right next to Nebraska.
No, no, no.
I have to
Iowa,
open up my
Missouri,
damn map, man.
Iowa, Missouri, Nebraska, um, and it's still
Hey, for all you doing.
Missouri, and then it's Illinois, and then
Okay, yeah, Iowa. Yeah,
Minnesota,
Iowa's up there above Illinois. Yeah, hell yeah.
yeah,
I can't believe y'all don't have that yet.
and then above South.
I think Toby
Well,
knows
actually,
where
I'm
the
in
states are
Utah.
better than we do.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was Iowa, and I looked, and I went, okay, that's Missouri. Iowa's north of Missouri. I was looking at Kansas and thinking it was. I was thinking it was Nebraska. And, all right, so that's a state up. Okay.
Yeah, but I know I-70 across Missouri. It's gonna be a shit show tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
I won't make it that far, no way. I mean, I probably won't make it too much past Laramie.
Actually, a lot of it's kind of south of that, even.
Well, uh, well, the way I'm understanding, Missouri and just to the top of Arkansas, and not
Right,
even all of
r-
it, like it's gonna kind of miss the northwest corner a little bit, and
right,
it's gonna
right,
be all
right.
the way across in
Yeah, from
Kentucky
Kansas
and
into all the way through
Kansas.
Kansas, through central Missouri, through southern Illinois, through southern Indiana, all the way through central and South Kentucky. Yeah, into
See, I'm
Ohio.
I'm
Yeah,
headed
that's
to
it.
Louisville.
Oh, you better get here soon because that snow, man, it's supposed to be 3 to 12. They're calling 6 to 12. Three
Centimeters?
to six. No, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Southern
I ain't nothing to
Kentucky,
worry about.
Louisville to Lexington to Ashland's gonna be like 6 to 12.
It's not my driving that scares me. It's these
But that's
dumb
what
sons
they
of bitches
say.
that
They
don't know how
always
to
say that
drive in
shit.
it.
And we get like two. Yeah, we get like 2 inches. They say that shit all the time. And then the one time that you say, oh, they always say that shit. It fucking dumps on your ass. But they're calling for some
Hey,
ice too. So.
Hey guys, I didn't mean to interrupt y'all's
Yeah, no, brother.
conversation. I just want to drop in and say hi. And
What's
hell,
Hey,
you
going
got
on,
big tires, right?
Marcus?
hey, and
what we
I'm fixing
think
to go to
about
bed. Yeah, y'all have a
Snowmageddon?
wonderful night.
Snowmageddon's on the way.
Well,
Toby,
see,
Toby's
up
bringing
in
it up.
Newland yesterday, up in
Yeah,
Avery
and
County,
everybody
Warren County,
else.
they done gotten about 2 or 3 inches of
You gotta
snow.
drive all defensively.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fixing to hit the
Toby's gonna
hay.
follow him all the way to Louisville, man.
He's gonna follow me all the way over there. Y'all
Yeah.
have a wonderful night.
Santa
Take care,
Good
Marks is
night.
brother.
going to be pulled up.
Well, see you Wednesday.
Okay.
Later, brother. Come
How
on,
you
Marcus.
how you guys doing?
Doing good, brother. What's up?
Not a whole lot, just chilling.
You
I
too,
mean,
Toby. Drive safe. Drive safe.
yeah, last night about 6 o'clock, I had to drive up in Newland, up Avery County, and the roads were covered in snow. They had about 2 inches. I
Yeah.
had to
How you doing,
deliver some
Toby?
propane tanks and some heaters to a couple of
What do you
friends of
say,
mine up
Marcus?
on the mountain that needed help. What's going on, Uncle Drunkle?
Did you give all them presents out?
So I've been mainly helping
You didn't.
people
Yeah.
out.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me all right?
Oh, there he is.
Hell, I hear all
What's
y'all.
going on?
I was wondering if
What you been up to?
Marcus got to play Santa Claus too,
Have you
delivering
speak
some
back one or two? You
toys.
never did.
Hell, I've been delivering propane tanks and buddy heaters.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
good deal, man. A
Because
lot of
we're
people
supposed
don't.
to get that Arctic chill this week. I mean, they're calling freezing rain tomorrow night
Well, that's cool.
with a little snow mix. Next weekend, they're calling for the
I could
north.
use a couple more takes for my heater.
Damn, that'd be about a
Oh,
four
yeah.
hour haul.
It's not that far if you go through eastern Kentucky. You're not that far from Roger.
No, about 3.5, 4 hours.
No, about 2.5, 3. Isn't it?
Well, you figure, I mean, if I'm running into snow and shit.
Well, I wasn't figuring for all that shit.
Let's bring me some propane.
Of course, you're
Be
talking to
worth
somebody
it.
that didn't know the difference between Kansas and Nebraska.
I'll
Hell,
give you a
Kansas
tip.
is supposed to get up to 2 foot of snow.
Hell, who is Kansas?
Yeah.
Oh hell.
Hell, my sister lives in Ohio, up in Canton, Ohio, and they were calling for about 16 inches plus up there.
Well, they're saying Louisville. They're saying the strip between Kansas City through, St. Louis to Indianapolis through
Now I know why my
Cincinnati, a
cousin moved
little
out of that
Columbus,
state.
a little north, and all the way to from there to like the southern Kansas, southern Missouri, southern Kentucky, Virginia line going through there is just going to get smacked hard.
Yeah,
North of
I'm
that's not
saying
as bad.
the next storm system for next weekend, they're calling for parts of Mississippi and Alabama to get snow
Now, when's that wave coming through?
next weekend.
Oh, next weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't care about then. I hope it most of the worst holds off to then.
Right.
So
But see, now for us down here, we're looking at over a foot.
As long as Wednesday's good. Hey,
man, huh? Do what, Roger?
how's the weather up there for Wednesday?
Here for Wednesday. Uh, hopefully it's clearing by then. I think it's supposed to clear. But
Santa,
most
what's
of
the weather
snow's
up
gonna
there
come.
for Wednesday supposed to be? Do you know?
Can you hear me? Okay. Is this mic working?
The weather up there for Wednesday, what's it supposed to be like?
Can you hear me all right, Roger?
Yeah.
All right, because I'm sitting here answering and you're asking me over and over. Am I cutting in now?
Yeah.
Oh hell.
Yeah.
I noticed Rogers, my signal must
Yep,
be
yep.
acting up.
Well,
Or there's a
not
good bit of
anymore.
lag there in Uncle Drunkle's, either one.
So yeah, he's up there and what kind
Yeah,
of what
because I
internet
gotta
you
be
got?
up there
You got
Wednesday.
Dish.
I think
You're
mine.
coming up Wednesday, right?
I think mine's lag.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be tough to get up here maybe Wednesday. Hopefully it'll clear up by then. But I don't think it's supposed to get
Yeah.
so cold where salt won't work,
Right.
until later in the week.
Now, I know it's like Tuesday
No.
night or Wednesday night up in Avery County, just the county above me. It's
Yeah.
supposed to get down in the
I don't have to
Wednesday
be up
night.
20s.
there till 1 o'clock.
Yeah, Wednesday night's gonna be the coldest time.
Yeah.
Wednesday night 8 here.
It's supposed to be 7 up there in Avery County.
Well, with the wind chill probably negative because we get pretty
Right.
Wednesday. So yeah, that's what you're looking at.
So
Big.
how's everybody been since Christmas?
Doing good. How about yourself?
I can't complain too much. I've got a
Well,
birthday
hell.
coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'd
Hell,
complain. I don't know who the hell I'd complain to. Complain only works if you're doing it to somebody that gives a shit.
When hell, I had
Right?
kidney stones, so it don't matter.
Yeah.
So
You gonna get them Sonic and packed?
I woke up with kidney stones this morning. So
Drink more beer.
Yeah. Drink
probably should drink more and less soda.
vinegar. Drink some vinegar every night. You won't have to worry about it.
Well, I like vinegar.
Drink
I
some every night.
and
Use
I
it and
spritz
soak
all
it.
my meats with it.
Use more vinegar and you'll have less to deal with.
Do a
Yeah,
shot.
yeah.
Do a shot before bed.
Do what?
Let it try.
You cutting in and out.
Yeah, I might have to put my surgery off till. I said I'm probably have to put my surgery off for a little bit.
Yeah. What?
So I get
Why?
that wheelchair ramp built.
What you got going on, brother?
He's got to have hemorrhoid surgery.
Well, I
Been a
can't
pain in
get
the
my
ass.
house without one.
He's getting hemorrhoid surgery.
I have to have a total shoulder replacement.
Oh, damn.
No, I got that taken care of already.
Shit, I'm gonna go over to
That
the
one's taken care
hospital.
of. It's,
I'm gonna go to the hospital and change those fucking records
but
to
now
the
I have a total shoulder replacement.
shoulder replacement.
I've
Hell
got,
no,
the steps
we're
coming
gonna
into
do
my
a
house.
hip replacement.
And
Yeah,
you
let's
can't
do
use
hip.
crutches.
Well, you need a power. Well, that's right. You got the power chair. It's just you need the ramp built.
Just use
Well,
the
hey,
one you got.
you
And
know what?
jump.
You better show up to the fucking hospital. I'll be up there for,
They get you one of them lifts, man.
yeah. I talked to the Housing Alliance over here, and they said that, yeah. I talked to the Housing Alliance over here, and they said that they do them, but it's got to be approved by the commission.
The lift.
So then there's all kinds of paperwork I got to get to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's that store bought liquor, then it ain't it, Mike? That's what it is.
There's
It's
a
that Petron and all that store bought shit.
Yeah, Santa, while I'm up in that hospital, you better stop and visit me.
You gonna be a
God
few
damn, I'll
days?
be there for a few days.
hey Santa.
Yeah.
Just thought of something. I mean, if I can get days off of work, I mean, I'm gonna talk to Dad about this. But we've got a ramp back here that was the makeshift ramp for Mom and Mama to get in from the hospital back 3 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go, Raj. How tall is it?
It's it's kind of a
Now,
steep
mine,
pitch,
to go
but
to the end of my sidewalk to the road would be,
Is that where you putting it from sidewalk to the road?
going from my house right to the side, to the end of my sidewalk, which
Right.
is the road. It's like 50 foot long.
No, but the ramp would be that long, man. How high up to how far out we talking? You know, is coming out of the house like on the porch is like how many feet?
Oh,
Up?
from the bottom of my, from the ground up to the top of my, from the ground of my deck, I'm up 5 foot.
5 foot?
So,
Did you say 5 feet?
yeah.
Wow. So you'd have to have probably a 10-inch ramp, 10
Yeah,
foot
5
ramp.
foot.
5 foot? 5 foot ramp and 5 foot? That's a triangle, man. That's 45 fucking
Or
degrees, bro.
that. Fuck that thing.
No fucking
It's
joke.
5 foot. We just like
Yeah, 5 foot's a
this.
45-degree angle, homie. You need 10 foot. You need to cut that in half, bro.
yeah,
You gotta
but from
have,
the bottom of the
according
deck
to code,
on the porch.
according to code, you gotta. You,
You don't want no
what
45-degree
for?
angle, bro.
The fuck you talking about?
If you go 5 foot and you don't go 5 foot out,
But
if
my
you go
porch
5 foot
pipe
up and 5 foot
down
out,
to
that's
the.
a 45-degree
I
angle.
know.
So if you go 5 foot up and 10 foot out, that cuts 45 into 23 and a half. And that's pretty
I
far
know that.
down.
I gotta go 50 foot out. I've got to go. And according
Oh,
to code, you
50
got to be
foot.
you could go a quarter inch to every quarter inch to every. I think 5 foot. Is what your
Hell,
drop
man.
is.
Drain lines.
I don't know about up here. I know in
Drain
Michigan it
lines are
is.
more slow than that. Hell, man. You can, yeah, that's a fucking, you need to build a trust, man. Fucking far.
You're totally lost. You're totally not understanding.
Oh, I'm
My height to
understanding.
my porch is 5 foot to the
5 foot
ground.
off the ground. 5 feet.
And I
There to
got a
there.
50-foot run.
Right, but you don't
Right.
have to go all the way out
Yeah.
50 foot.
Yep.
Why? You can't go onto the concrete, then we'll.
Yeah, I do. If not, I'll be going straight up and down.
I'm not. I'd have to
I'd be
see.
going straight up and down if I went less than the full. It should be steep.
Uh,
I'll take a picture and show you tomorrow.
yeah, I'd have to see what you're talking about. But I mean,
Yeah,
Even at
ground's
50 foot,
flat.
it's going to be steep.
If the ground's flat and you're up 5 feet, you need to go out at least 10 feet to get 23-degree angle. Otherwise,
well, see, Santa, the ground there, his place ain't exactly flat. It's kind of on
yeah,
a hill.
no, yeah, it's on here. I've seen pictures of it, but I don't know where you're talking about.
I've been to his house last year.
Going
Yeah.
right up my front porch.
Well, let's just get a lift.
Going around the front porch. I had to be every bit of 50 foot out to get a.
Just get a lift, man. Just
Okay, because they cost more than a freaking ramp.
I don't know, man. A little hydraulic crane, up and down.
Where's
I
my
got an
moonshine
idea.
community when I need them? Where's my
Yeah,
moonshine community when I
yeah.
need
Why
them?
should you go find me?
I was fixing to say something on the Moonshine community. Why don't we get together, do something to raise the money to get the material to build Uncle Drunkle a ramp? So that way, when he has that operation, he can get into his house.
Yeah.
Really ain't got enough time. I mean, unless I put my surgery off. I mean, I see my surgeon on the 8th. I need to get the fucking surgery done because I mean, it's quality of life sucks.
April.
But
It has to be a dead of fucking winter, too.
how you doing, April? How's Jim doing?
Hey,
Husband?
April.
Yeah, in the winter time, of course. How's Jim doing, April?
Uncle, just shoot me a picture of that. So that
I'll
way
go
I
over to
remember.
him.
So that way I
Yeah,
can.
let me see what you got going on, man.
Yeah, so
We'll
that way
figure
I can
something out.
do some figuring out in my head on what to do.
No, I'll do it tomorrow.
You have to figure it out. I'm trying to picture what you're talking about. Building a deck. You talking like building a deck for 50 feet, like
Well,
that crane.
building a ramp. Well, see,
Yeah,
Mama's got a wheelchair ramp here at the house.
I
Just,
follow what you're saying. It's
just
gonna
do
be
a ramp straight out.
right because it runs into the hill, right?
You know, but it's
You got Uncle Drunkle's porch.
well, no, it just
Then
runs
you
from the
got the
house out to
sidewalk.
the road. But I mean, if I the shorter the ramp, the more steep it is.
Yeah, Tom, I seen you post, brother. It sucks. I mean, people got fireplaces in their house and they wait until it gets cold as fuck to order firewood, and they don't understand why you can't just drop everything and run it out there to them. You know, it's like everybody waits till it gets fucking, ice storm fucking coming, and then they load up on bread and call the firewood man to have them bring them damn firewood, and it's like,
But yeah, I'm sitting here doing some thinking because I remember being up at Drunkle's house, trying to picture everything on my head. On, I mean, the ramp, of course, would have to be built in sections, but you'd have 4x4 posts and concrete, and them concrete pads at the 4x4 posts to sit down in. Then just it's all about getting your slope. Of course, get the slope angled right for
yeah, yeah,
getting the pitch right.
yeah,
That's what I'm getting at.
yeah, it's just,
And getting your width measured because you gotta have either 2x6s or 2x8s for your main run, then your 2x4s to go over that.
Oh, well.
Plus your
especially if you want to
rails.
use deck boards.
You see, well, deck boards, but you
Yeah,
see what I'm trying to figure out.
yeah, build a joist and deck boards. Yeah, it wouldn't be too bad.
Oh.
Should I build a lot of those in my day?
I mean, it would just take all of us a good day to get everything built.
It'd take a day to dig the holes and get the 4x4 set and
Well, you
stringers,
really
get
wouldn't
the
have to.
stringers.
I mean,
Well, it
you
depends
should dig holes.
how many Mexicans you bring with you. This old man ain't working that fast. I mean, yeah,
I mean, I'm just trying to think of something to help them out.
I understand.
I mean, that's our job.
At least
That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other out.
that's right.
Ah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm seeing the way
Oh,
I guess he has to curve because if it's just straight, I'd have to see how it's laid out, but I can build
Right.
anything.
I'm trying to remember the layout of it.
I remember seeing a picture of the house. I've only seen one side though. I haven't seen the other side, but
I mean,
I've seen the porch side
I can
from
say
the
it's been
road.
close to a year since I've been up there, but
oh, fuck, that sucks. That fucking sucks. That fucking sucks.
What's
Oh,
going on, Tommy?
fuck these kidney stones.
So you're gonna come out from your porch, kind of straight, and then start angling down as it turns towards the road, or is it gonna go straight?
Yeah, you're allowed, like, I think it's a 1/4 inch per 5 foot. I believe, I don't know.
Quarter inch per five
Oh,
feet.
fuck.
So you can drop a foot, quarter
I believe
inch
that's what it is. I
in
mean, that's
5 feet. So in order
what
to
it is.
drop 1 inch, you have to go 20 feet. Come on, man. No way. It'd take 20 foot to drop an inch. Ain't no
Yeah,
way it can be that
seriously,
much.
you're supposed to go to sleep. Or I said, oh,
I mean,
I gotta
if
catch
you're
my breath.
draining, if it's like a
Oh,
PVC drain line, it has to be a quarter inch and 10 feet. God damn, that's, you know, uh, something like that could give you a little more slope than what shit rolls downhill. But I don't know.
yeah, that's just a lot of figuring.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way it can be that little. A quarter inch and 5 feet is 20 feet an inch. There's no way you can drop just an inch and 20 feet. God damn. That's a very gradual slope, man. That's like 2 degrees
1 inch of vertical rise. Hey, it's 1 inch of vertical rise.
per
There should
foot.
be 2 inches per foot of ramp.
1 inch per foot. Okay, so
Yeah, so it's 1 point. It's 122.
that's better. 1 inch per
Or
foot.
it's
That's
one. It's
still
one.
better.
It's 1 inch per 12 inches.
1 inch per foot.
Oh,
So at
something
five
like
feet,
that. It's been so fuck. I ain't been built a ramp in.
1 inch per foot. So if you got 5 feet up and you can drop 1 inch per foot,
That's 5 inches
5 feet.
right there.
Well, 5 feet is 60 inches.
Yeah, to come out 5.
So that's 60 inches, 5 foot. So you'd have to go 60 feet out or 10. Well, let's see. We'll get this figure. That's 60 inches, and you can drop an inch per foot. So I'd have to go 60 feet out.
I mean, a mid
That's
code.
still, no, that's crazy.
Too bad we couldn't do for the time being, do like a 20-foot makeshift ramp.
Drop.
Well, yeah, I know all the ones
Oh,
I've seen in buildings and stuff are a lot steeper than that. But then again, you could probably do a switchback, down, build a platform, turn around, come back. But that'd be a pain in the ass too. But I don't know. I just have to see it. But I'd have to say fuck code. Damn,
yeah,
that's a
that I'd
long
have to
ass
do off
ramp.
the side of my. To do that out of my. It goes. That's why I said I'm gonna. When Housing Alliance he's gonna bring it up at their Tuesday meeting, and then they got to decide if they're gonna be able to help me because they could, like, right now they're booked out till October. He said, but be such a desire thing, he's gonna present it Tuesday, and if they approve it, then I just got to get all my paperwork together, my proof of income, and the copy of the deed of my house, and all that. But he said he's gonna try and do it. It's because unless I have somebody come over and pull me up in my wheelchair, which I don't want to chance that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
I got like 5 or 6 steps you got to come up to get inside the house.
1 in 12 pitch. Every 12 inches of
Yeah,
horizontal
something out more
travel
then.
has to rise an inch. So that's 1 to 12. But it has to be a minimum of 36 inches wide. Some areas require a little wider.
Or drop an inch.
They must have handrails on both sides. Landings at the top and bottom.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't realize that slope.
And lumber alone. I wouldn't need a landing at the top.
And actually a 30-inch maximum per run. So you would have to have a level and then go on down from a level. So you'd have to go probably 30 feet and then have a little landing
Right.
and then go 30
Right.
feet down from that. Yep. That way you don't have 60 feet of
Yeah.
straight ramp. Yep. You'd have to go halfway and make a little bit of a
Right. And you really can't do a continuous run that long because of you really can't do a run that long because of the you can only get
the code
your
says you
lumber
can't.
at 20 foot, I believe. As
Well,
long
and
as
even
you can get it
code
low.
says 30-inch max per run. So for 60 inches, which is 5 feet, what you need, you'd have to have 2 runs. So you'd have to go to a landing and then, you don't have to switch back. I mean, it can be a landing and then straight. But yeah, I had no idea that it was that gradual of slope.
Yeah.
I would have
Keep going
guessed more.
straight.
Yeah, I would have guessed more for sure. Wow.
Yeah,
Good to know.
it's got to be because that's what code is. I know it's been so long since I built an 88 Ram. No, I haven't in 10 years.
Have you priced some of this stuff they sell pre-assembled?
Well,
Wow.
no, I haven't, but I know a fucking 5/4 board, womanized deck board are just ungodly, goddamn.
Yeah, I mean,
Anything
if you got that
womanized is
plastic stuff,
expensive.
if you got the plastic stuff, I
Yeah,
probably
plastic is
not
worse.
treated.
Plastic's more
Yeah,
expensive.
it'd be like $4,000 or $5,000,
Yeah, exactly.
and I don't think that includes installation.
Nope. I mean, that's why I'm hoping that the housing alliance will do it for me.
Yeah.
I mean, it is an emergency case. There's a company.
Yeah.
There's another place here. They do
Sorry, Lisa, I had a
loaner
different
ramps.
window. I was looking at the specifications for the ramps. I wasn't looking at the page. How you been?
I have been. I haven't been here long. I just got here.
Good. I didn't miss you then.
No, you did not. Thank you.
Who are you bringing in?
Well, except for
Roger?
since the last time I saw you. Other than that, so.
Was the
Hi, everybody.
So what's been going on?
fucking kidney stone's got to go.
Yeah, too bad we couldn't raise the money up and get one of them aluminum ramps put in.
Yeah. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, about
They're more expensive.
I done some pricing. They're like $5,000.
I've got like 6 sections.
Yeah, they're about the same.
I've got
price as
like 6
plastic
sections to
wood
an aluminum
that
ramp,
do
but
composite.
You can get a 30-foot section and a 20-foot section plus a landing for like $6,000.
Yeah. Plus installation.
Come
Hey, Lisa.
on.
Then you still got to put concrete pads and all that down.
How's it going, Lisa?
Doing good.
Yeah.
So much
He
work and
photo
so
bombed.
little
He's like,
time to do
hey,
it.
I'm getting in front of the camera, not you.
Yeah, they all try to.
Well, I've got all the concrete and shit.
They know how to get attention.
I don't get far without them. I move, they move.
Yeah, that's the way it is a lot of
your
places.
dogs?
Yeah.
I'd have to say it. I agree. It depends on the slope, like like you're saying, if it goes 5 foot, but you're going to a slope that's up, you won't have to go as far before you hit the slope of the mountain, and I guess you got to come back or go along this. I don't know. I guess you already have the walk because you're
Man,
building it to the walk, not to the mountain. And here he cuts out right when it comes to the part where he's explaining everything. And then he stops and it comes back.
and
Right.
I got it's just going from it's just top line deck down the road. Yeah, that's what I got to deal with.
I swear sometimes I think your phone works better.
I said, I said, the only thing I could met with is to the deck and the length of my side going down to the road.
It's cutting you out. It's hard to understand
You
what
know,
you're
it's
saying. We hear about every third word. That sucks. Go ahead and try your phone, see how that works.
the kids. Hear me?
No. And something tells me I'm glad I didn't.
I said I think the boy is on the internet.
Yeah.
Share.
It's the fucked up internet for sure.
Hey,
Yep.
hang on, yeah. Oh,
Whew.
But it seems to be fine. I can hear your background when you're not talking. And then the second you start talking, it chops up.
It's like the internet hates Uncle Drunkle.
It's like he got some fucking hacker in Russia pushing a button every time he wants to talk. It's like,
Hey, Mark.
Howdy,
DDoS
howdy,
attack.
Lisa.
What's going on, Marky Mark? You still in Gatlinburg? Yeah, let's see how this works. All right, let's try that. Now,
There we go.
now try to talk. Turn it sideways though.
I said I think the boys on the internet in the house play this fucking game.
We can hear you good now.
1,000 times better. They're using up.
Better.
They're using the network. They're using up all the Wi-Fi and not leaving any for Roger.
No
What it
shit.
is.
That's 1,000 times better.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be on long. My fucking kidneys are killing me. That fucking kidney stone. Oh my god.
Brother Raj, I'll be praying for you.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know if praying does anything for kidney stone, but if you can, if it does, please do.
So y'all having a good time down there,
And
Mark? Y'all
everything
partying?
else you got going on, like with your shoulder surgery and everything.
I'm just falling fucking apart.
Yeah,
Part of getting old, ain't it?
he's getting old, man. He don't want to admit it. Mark, y'all having a party down there tonight, or just kind of chilling?
You're partying hard last I saw.
Yeah, they were. It looked like
Yeah.
a good time, man. I wish I could have been there.
Mark, I'm gonna have to coffee.
Want to have a party last night or tonight? Both.
How
You
about
got
the
to, you
party
got to,
tonight too?
you're going to have to go live if it's a big party tonight.
But yeah, I figure out since Uncle Drunkle invited me to hop in for a little bit, I figure I'd hop in and chat with
Well, I'm
everybody for a
glad
little
you
while.
did. It's good seeing you.
Good.
I ain't seen you since
Yeah,
right
no,
before
Yeah,
Christmas.
I know. I ain't seen you since Old Fort.
I ain't seen you 2 weeks.
it's been forever.
I know.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
one. Hey, Raj, I'm gonna work. That's one thing I'm gonna work on this year
What's that?
before Hillbilly Jam. Get money together to put in with you on a
Yeah,
cabin,
To get a what?
yeah. Take care of it.
like like he did last year.
Get a what?
Get a
Cabin.
Oh,
cabin.
cabin. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice cabin.
Well, get that one again because I like that one out there. That's a
Awesome.
nice cabin. It's a big cabin. That's what I was shocked about.
Yeah.
Compared
Yeah,
to like Mark's half of his whole cabin would have fit in half of mine.
yeah, just that living room was a master,
Exactly.
man.
But that's
Man,
what
I
I
tell you
was
what,
just.
that coffee shines so damn good. I could drink a quart of it.
Well, I got
Wait.
some for you Wednesday.
I did drink a quart of it, and they got mad when he didn't send me home with any. So where's mine? He's like, he drank it.
I like that. I like that little concoction that had all sorts of had just a unique flavor. Had like all different flavors mixed into one. That me and
Oh, yeah,
your stepson was drinking on.
yeah. I mean, I like Mark's cabin, but I mean, mine is so much more open.
Yeah,
And
that
I
living
like
room
that it was at
nice.
the Hell Holler. I had no neighbors really, and it's
Yeah, that.
pretty good setup.
Yeah, I don't know about the rest of the cabin, but that living room and kitchen area was huge. You know, that big
Well, the
Yes,
open
bedrooms were big.
ceiling. Yeah,
the open floor plan was awesome, especially for the group photo.
Yeah, yeah. The master bedroom was humongous, and
yeah. I remember. I don't even remember seeing it. I don't think I went to the bathroom in there. I might pissed off the porch once or twice. I think
I
off the
think I
back
did.
deck. I don't even think
I
I
think
went
I
to the
did
bathroom.
piss off the porch once or twice.
Yeah,
I know I did a few times.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it was a good time.
make sure Frank's there this coming year. That keeps his teeth in his head.
He got drunker than shit that night.
Dude,
Kissing the bear carving. Thought it
yeah.
was a dog.
Who's that?
Oh yeah,
Mark
he got drunk.
Frank
Oh,
Frank
Frank.
Thompson.
Yeah,
Frank
yeah,
He bent
Dawson.
Frank's
over.
dad.
Yeah,
He
I
was
Yeah.
still
kissing a
talk to
dog's head,
him.
patting him.
Well, y'all
It
were
was
pretty
fun. I
lit.
mean,
Shit, I
Hell,
stayed drunk the whole weekend.
huh?
I was drunk the whole fucking weekend, man. I woke up
Yeah.
drunk. I wake up
Well, Lisa,
drunk and
you
then
got to make it
decide
up
to go
there.
back to the festival and I go out there half drunk and before you know it, there's a shot or two in me and I'm drunk again, you know.
See, Lisa, you got to make it down to North Carolina for that. You and your boyfriend got to make a special trip.
Yeah, stay drunk for 3 days and then have a 3 or 4 day hangover. Love it. Love it. Shit's getting hard on the old man. Ugh, it's hard.
The only way to fly.
It's, it's a
Man,
lot of fun, man.
it's
It's a
just
lot of
so,
fun.
it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, especially hanging out with the crew. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, we had a good
it's
time out there.
memories that last a lifetime,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah.
but also it's memories that last to another year to make more memories and keep making more memories.
Yeah.
Yeah, memories that last a lifetime or until you get, you know, Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or dementia, and you just forget
That's
everything. You
why I
know,
take as many pictures as I do.
that's
I'm
that's where
sure
I'm probably headed.
I'm not far away.
Not far away from what
Well,
Parkinson's,
Alzheimer's or dementia.
Alzheimer's. I me either, man. It's hitting me already. That's why I
Yeah,
can't
I've already
remember
got
shit like
short. That's
Monty
what I was
Python.
going to say.
There's little things
But
like Monty Python or a funnel. Couldn't name what a fucking funnel was the other day. Like, one of them little cone shape, what they call it? Fucking funnel. I couldn't come up with it. It's like, damn, man, what's wrong with me?
I was like, I know I've
Monty
already got
Python
short
tonight.
term.
There's always something that just stumps me, man. And the older you get, the more stumps you run into.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey,
I
Frank.
know I've already got short timers. So,
So, Mark, you gonna go live and say hello from everybody on the party?
hey, Mark.
Hey Santa,
Yeah.
what do you call a sex stone?
What do you call a sex stump?
Stone,
Sex stone.
a fucking rock.
All right.
Huh.
That works.
Yeah,
I had to break out the little
Yeah, the
bit of
old dad joke. Yep. Them old dad jokes. Yep. I like them. Yeah, I wish I was down there partying with them. It'd be fun.
And just like, I've listened to
Drinking
a
all
lot
that
of the.
different sugar land shine, man. Let's imagine the hangover I could have tomorrow.
Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah. You know how many jars of fucking shine I'd have to be carrying around right now?
I
Oh,
know. I'd
God.
probably have about 2 or 3 in me already.
You need to buy.
I remember at the summer jam this last year where Roger and Bam Bam got the picture with that cop, and Roger had a bunch of liquor under his.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Bam Bam did.
Oh, Bam Bam did.
Bam Bam had all the liquor under his scooter.
Then, of course, Tom Crum and Diamond Beatty,
Yeah,
they got busted.
Yeah,
yeah,
they got this confiscated. I'm glad nobody went to jail though. That's
that's the best thing.
confiscation's
Yeah.
the worst thing that happened, I guess. You lose your liquor and lesson learned.
Yeah.
But every festival's different. You gotta respect the rules and just kind of
That's
gotta
what I
go
love
with
about
it.
Beattyville. Beattyville,
That's not you sneaking it in because there's a rule against it. That's why you're sneaking it. So
yeah,
if you get caught, you just
Beattyville,
didn't do good
Hey,
enough.
like
Especially
Beattyville,
my first job.
Beattyville. We rode up. I rode around with a jar in my hand. I mean, people smoking weed, cops
Main Street.
walking up and down the street.
But we don't want a lot of people finding out about Texas. We don't want, that to get.
I want to go to Beattyville. Just say I've been to the Beattyville Festival.
It's a lot of fun, but damn, it gets hot there that time of year,
Oh
man. It's
God,
hot.
it melting the
It's
sidewalk.
104. It was a 104-degree heat index factor when we were there, and it's downtown on the
Well, hey,
sidewalk.
hey, don't start complaining now, 'cause we got this shit coming up. So
I know,
don't
but
jinx
hopefully
it.
it'll be a little cooler.
Yes.
Hopefully it'll be in the
Oh,
80s and not 96 with a 104 heat index. God, that was hot, man. I was
Now,
drunk,
I will say, like this past,
stoned, hot. I
I
was
will
speaking in
say
tongues.
one thing about this past year's Hillbilly Jam. It was a whole lot cooler than any other
Yeah,
any
it was
other
nice.
jams I've been to.
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice as
Hey,
shit.
at least Santa, at least you had air conditioning that night. I slept in a tent.
Oh, where?
Well,
At
I'm at
Beattyville?
Beattyville.
Oh,
Beattyville.
yeah. 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 Aunt drove home that night. I had to go home. She had work next day.
That you
So,
had air conditioning that night. I fucking slept in a
yeah,
tent.
yeah, yeah. I'd been miserable in a tent for sure. But, man, that heat, I was about half heat stroked and half drunk and half stoned. And, man,
God,
I
you
was
missed
in,
all of it.
I was in rare form, man.
We got
I
we
was
got to
fucked
that
up.
pool, and we got over that pool. I just fell in. I mean, just bloosh.
Oh man, I mean, Roger and I hit every one of those vendors and like hit every sample they had at least 2 or 3 times. We gave them the old, I don't know, let me try. It's hard for me to decide. And we, get 2 or 3 shots each of every bottle they had out there. Hell, by the time we got done through it, it was like 30, 40 fucking shots. Wasn't it? Within an hour's
Yeah.
time, it's like,
Say this.
I was smashed.
This year, I'm definitely going to farm to bottle.
Yeah, you got farm to bottle's a lot of
That's a
fun. I
good
like
one
it
too.
because the camping's right next to the venue, actually part of the venue. Everything's kind of interweb. You don't have to pay extra to do one or the other. You can walk from the campsite over into the concert area and go over to the food area and where the vendors are, and they got an indoor place for a lot of vendors there as well, and food vendors everywhere. A lot of good food, and
I'm gonna
it's
try and get that. I'm gonna try
perfect.
and get that motel or that apartment again. I like
Well,
that
you ain't gonna
apartment.
camp.
Huh?
You ain't gonna camp.
Nah, I like that apartment. She's comfortable getting the apartment. She's not much into camping,
Yeah,
and
it's cool. I mean, it's right next to it, and I mean, it's
yeah, I mean we're right across the road.
you don't have a mile to drive, and she can drive me
Hell,
home. She's sober, so
It's right across the road. I
come on,
mean,
Nathan. Come
yeah,
on, brother.
that speaking of camping, just got an idea. Get me a dirt cheap pop up camper to drag up behind the truck on the way.
Hell, just pop a fucking tent right next to everybody that's got a camper there and pitch in a little bit. That's what I did. Wes had a camper, and Joe had a camper, and me and Phil Billy and Ian and Sean Rigsby and Scott and I mean all of us were right there. We all just pitched tents and in between them all.
yeah, I'm
Actually,
gonna
Scott had a camper too on the other side.
I'll
So,
stick
yeah,
with the apartment for her. I mean,
or
if
Sean,
she's
Sean
happy,
Peterman, not God. Sean Peterman had the camper on the other side of
yeah,
West.
Peterman
Went,
and
went
Roy.
Peterman, and then West, and then Joe, and then you know we had it made. Was it Joe and Roy? When they both in it? There was Roy Peterman. Roy
Roy
was
and Peterman, yeah.
yeah. They had that camp. They rented a camper or borrowed it, or it might have
They
been
were gifted it.
yeah.
I
And
have.
it was awesome. And then we put up a few tents just in between them. Nobody didn't care about that. Just kick in a little
But
bit to help pay for the lot
oh
and
my
everything.
god.
They were cool. They were cool with it. Dan's
Oh,
cool. He runs it. So
Well, hell, I'm gonna hop off of here, guys.
I'm going right behind you. I can't deal with this pains.
Oh,
Oh my god. Yeah.
well, if
It's
Lisa wasn't on
fun.
here, I'd have a few comments to say about that kitty stuff on how to get it
Oh,
out.
dude.
But
Oh,
uh,
right.
I'm gonna be good.
Don't worry
oh,
about
you
me.
did good. I appreciate it. I've
All
never had
right,
my
man.
god, it fucking hurt.
You've never had one?
No. Not
Mm.
no, no.
So how
I
you know
mean,
that's what it is? How you know you don't?
because every time I piss, it feels like I'm pissing through razor blades.
Well, that could be venereal disease.
There ain't no fucking venereal disease. Fuck, you
Could
gotta
be,
Uh,
have sex to get some venereal disease.
you might need some penicillin instead of
No, you gotta have
ivermectin.
sex to catch a venereal disease.
hey,
That's true.
Santa. He could have swollen head.
Yeah, it could be swollen head disease.
No, it's fucking kidney stone. I know it is.
I'm just fucking with you.
And my
Yeah,
dumb ass is drinking fucking beer tonight. Yeah, that's
yeah,
smart.
yeah. That,
Yeah, brother.
man.
Well, guys, I'm gonna hop off here for the night. I'm
All
glad to.
right.
I'm
Well,
gonna
it's
Right.
good
try to
seeing
get
y'all.
back. I'm gonna try to get back into a routine of some sort of getting on some of the podcasts. It's just with helping out with the relief
Yes, there's so
and
much
there's
going on. I understand.
so much going on. I mean, when you only one person can only bounce here, there, and everywhere, and yeah.
But well,
Yeah,
we're at
can only do
we're
so
at every
much.
Wednesday and Saturday.
Yeah,
But
I
I
see
can
where
Monday,
I'm.
through Friday.
oh, I can use the bathroom again.
I mean, I've even told Santa this whenever he is down for the Christmas for Old Fort. I'd been volunteering with a relief hub up here, not just 15 minutes from the house.
So you've been busy. Is the Cajun the Navy
Thank you.
there in that town too?
Cajun Navy has been supply. United Cajun Navy has been helping with supplies too.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta use the bathroom
All
again.
right, brother. Drink a
All
lot of
right,
See
beer and
you,
blow
thank
that
brother.
you.
shit out, man.
All right, I'll
Love you.
talk to you later, brother.
Night on.
Later, brother.
So yeah, it's been, you might as well say, busy since the hurricane.
Yeah.
I bet. Thank you for
But
helping.
also, there's another thing with this cold snap. You gotta think all them people is still in tents.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
it's a
All the
heartbreaker.
people's got
You
kids.
know,
I mean, all the people are still homeless. Hell, I ran into a dude this evening there at the lodge since his tent got destroyed in the hurricane, but he had been staying in a lady's building, which was the building was made out of an old dog kennel.
yeah.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
mean,
it's the media, is not showing it anymore.
the
People think
media's
that
not
the
showing
problem.
the actual struggle that's going
Yeah,
on right
yeah.
now.
People think
They're
that
not
it's
showing
all over.
how
They're
many.
just
They're not showing the actual count of how many bodies have been recovered. There's been
right,
thousands recovered.
Yep.
right.
There's still close to 1,000 missing.
Yeah, yeah. They're not showing all that shit.
Nope.
They'd rather be showing the drones over New Jersey or
Okay,
trying to brainwash us
you
with
know,
something.
this is, the news can talk all they want, but in reality, they're hiding other shit that
Yeah.
they don't want us to know about.
Well, they're hiding where the money that should have been spent for that went. We all know where
Yeah.
that is. So,
Yeah.
Right.
you know, we saw.
Oh, they dropped the ball on that big time.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I
And they
mean, they
still
spent all
are.
their money, all the money. FEMA spent all the money on a lot of helping illegals and stuff. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
say it.
it's messed up.
A lot of doing that and other things that money should come from other places. I'm not saying it shouldn't be done. It's just that the source of money should come from other places and what Congress allots for emergency. And if you have a border emergency, then you need to, take care of that at the border, not through care once they get over here.
Right.
Right,
If you prevent them from coming in, you don't have to take care of them once they get here. So
Yeah.
that,
right.
Right.
Yep.
I know I'm going out there with that logic. That's far out, but wow, you'd think that it's just like the damn drones in New Jersey. That's a bunch of media bullshit. Because think of it this way: if you lived in New Jersey and you were at a radio station, would you not be in your radio? I mean, there's a car chase. You'll have every radio station chasing behind the police chopper, filming it, along with the cops. Car chases along the interstate. But yet drones fly up and they won't take a helicopter up to film them and say what this is, zoom in on them and all
Yeah.
that. They're sending their own drones up and with cameras on them with infrared or whatever. A lot of people say they turn their lights off when you get close to them. Well, if that's the case, that means they're doing something nefarious and need to be taken down.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they don't, it's George Jetson up there in his little, cyber car, drone car or something. That's great, wonderful. Wave at him and move on.
Yeah.
But that's why you just can't start shooting at them because it could be somebody legitimately in one of those flying cars. They have them now, so we
Right.
just we can't go shooting UFOs anymore because it might be a human in the damn, in the little hovercraft or some shit.
Well, hell, I'm gonna hop off of here for the night. I'm glad I was able to talk with you for a
All
little
right,
bit.
brother. It's good talking to you.
Good night, Marcus.
Take
Yeah,
care, brother.
tomorrow's gonna be another day.
Yep.
Be a good one.
It's
Yep.
gonna be a long one.
Be a Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, they're calling for more bad weather down here.
Yeah, it's gonna get bad. What's going on, Wayne?
Well, I'll let you later.
All right, brother.
Good night.
Good night. Bye bye.
Yeah, you guys are in for some storm, huh?
Yeah, it's headed right through here, right where I'm at. This is gonna be one of the worst hit,
Oh, yep.
of course. And they say that hopefully it'll go north. Usually, I'm younger and I'm wanting it to, and it doesn't. Now that I'm older and I got shit to do, and I don't want it to happen, it's
Right.
gonna happen. That's why I got my generator out today. Started checking on it, letting it out in a long time.
Yeah.
So you got to check it, give it the once over. I got to find my wire tomorrow that I use to connect it to the breaker, the main breaker coming in. Then I'll be ready. Would I wish in the past I always had some drywall to put around it that's fireproof, but I don't know what I'm gonna cover it with this time. I'm gonna have to make something kind of close a little bit on three sides, I guess.
Yeah.
It's nice little Honda. Well, no, I don't think it's a Honda. It might be a Briggs. I think it's a Briggs. It's an older one, 5,500 watt. It's been working. It's good, man. Living the dream. You've been working on copper or regular work? You haven't given up the regular job yet, have you? You still working at the shop? Oh, it's a pretty good night. Had quite a few questions earlier and
Yeah, I was listening.
got a few people.
Yeah. I was listening to some of them there. I see.
It's good to see Nathan on here. I don't see him on here often.
No, he's from up here.
Yep, he's a good guy. Yeah, I remember him from Joe's groups before I got banned. And he's in the militia too, and DIY and a few others.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very cool. It's about 12 degrees here now.
How many?
12.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, it's colder there than here, but you're not getting all that moisture we're getting, and we're at the perfect temperature.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, we won't get ice. If it's just snow, I can deal with that, but all the damn ice.
Everything here is covered in ice. It's all crusted over. I got a picture I'll send you. I don't know if I sent it to you. It's the road all a glare of ice. It's just Everything's frozen hard. The deer are having a hard time moving in it. It's crusty.
Yeah, and they can't drink or eat and do nothing, so they start spazzing. Had a question and answer on the phone. I get questions 24/7. People message me and text me and
Oh yeah,
call. Yeah,
yeah. Last night when Damon
it's
did the live, my phone started to blow up. What's going on? What's going on? What happened? Where'd you guys
yeah,
go?
yeah. Who else? Somebody else was going off in it. Had some odd ring to it. Whose was that? Somebody. And I kept asking. I thought it was the damn TV. I thought somebody had a TV on. It like, no, it's my phone. I'm like, what are you watching? YouTube videos or what?
And I put mine on silent. I forget it once in a while, but
Yeah. Oh,
do not disturb most of the time.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it does take it. Have you noticed a difference in your proof? Usually that cold air it makes your proof higher, running in the cold. 'Cause everything's like makes your column and everything, your cap like a deflegmator. We were talking about that in the group, and especially like if you're outside and you got a little bit of rain hitting the top of your cap, you got one of those, big horse heads or something, big cap. Uh, Man, you'd be surprised how much reflex that causes, how much proof goes up. When that happens, the cold air, cold wind blowing, and water hitting that cap and the top of your steel. It jumps that proof up for sure. Nature's deflegmator. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, higher. 140. Yes.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I don't argue with 140. I mean, I don't. Yeah, I might put out 140 if I don't try to increase it. With the deflegmator and other stuff. That's 130 to 40 is about what I can get if I don't try to increase it. And that's really perfect for your whiskeys and brandies. You get a lot of flavor. Then 140 to 160, 170. You start losing a lot of flavor when you eliminate a lot of the water in it. So what are you drinking on, Lisa?
I am drinking a twisted tea and sipping on Mark's
Oh, coffee. That's right, the coffee.
Yeah, Mark's coffee. Isn't that amazing? That's crazy.
Yeah, I drank almost a quart of that night, and that's after I probably drank
Whew.
a pint of other shit all day. Oh no, I drink more than a pint. I probably drank a pint and a half that day and almost a quart that night at Mark's of the coffee. It's easy to drink that shit, man.
Mm.
It's real easy to drink a lot of it and it got that caffeine, so it's speeding you up and getting you drunk at the same time. So you, you just get drunk, don't want to shut up, just keep talking.
Wide awake drunk.
Yeah,
I think with some coffee, ice cream.
yeah,
Ooh, that'd be awesome. That'd be on fire.
yeah.
That'd
It's
be
like
great.
snorting whiskey and drinking cocaine or something.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what,
Then,
start doing that blow. You can drink like a fish, man. You talk about the worst hangovers you'll ever have without getting drunk. It's horrible.
yep.
And those morning afters are bad, bad. It's bad enough it's just blow, but you add that hangover to it, man, and
Yeah, oh, yeah.
it's a whole new low, man.
And the thing is, you're working, so you got to get up in the fucking morning.
Yeah, it's tough.
I work construction. I was outside all the time, so you get up in the morning all fucking hungover and shit. Wow.
It's real tough.
Somebody
So,
said
what did you do in construction?
I did road construction, bridge construction.
Right, right.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
remember
much
you
of a
telling me that before.
carpenter. I'm a good
Yeah, I
friend.
remember you telling me that before. I was thinking carpenter when you said that, and you was like road construction
Yeah,
and
I'm
bridges.
all right carpenter for like framing, but
Yeah,
I'm a finish worker. So I try to
yeah,
get jobs inside in the wintertime up here. You know, everybody, if they have a job for inside in the winter, it's taken. They get their main men on it. you know. So in the wintertime, it's hard to get a good job.
Blueberry brandy or blueberry moons? Absolutely, Sean. I've got about 10 gallons in there fermenting. Been in there about 6 months. I'm making a blueberry wine. I don't just mash it, get my alcohol content, then immediately run it. For a lot of my brandies, I'll actually age the wine and get it mature and get some good flavors, and then I'll run it, and it definitely helps. But yeah, absolutely, blueberry brandy is good. It's not as sweet as you think it'd be, and not as much blueberry carryover. So and it tends to get dry if you let it, So when it gets down to 1.00, or 1.005 or something, just a little bit over 1.0, you can run it when it's got a little bit of touch of sweetness left to it, and it won't taste as dry. It won't get as dry as shine. Nutty flavor, yeah, man. Yeah, coming 140 is a good proof to come off. What was you running, Tony? But blueberry brandy's good. I was just showing earlier, blackberry brandy I was drinking earlier.
Ooh, I
That's
like
good.
blackberry. It's
Yeah,
gonna
they too.
that'll be
And
one of
they,
the try.
yeah, Roger's talking about doing some elderberry, and that makes a really good wine when you mix elderberry and blackberry together. That elderberry gives it just a little bit more depth, and
Yeah.
it's really good. Yeah, both of them
No,
make a damn good wine.
a buddy of mine used to use Welch's purple grape juice,
Absolutely.
blackberry, and it gave it that depth.
Yep.
Oh, really good. It was
Uh,
awesome.
there, there's a whole following of people out there that make wine with just the Welch's concentrated juices,
Yeah.
and they make excellent wines. I use it to supplement a lot of times my natural grape brandies. Because let's face it,
Yeah.
grapes ain't cheap, and they ain't always cheap. I mean, if you know somebody grows them, that's awesome. You got some wild muscadines, that's more power to you. But if you're buying them at the store, you're lucky if you can find them for 99 cents a pound.
Right.
If you know somebody that has like second day fruit, or an old fruit stand that sells it as it's aging about to go bad, and just that'd be awesome. I know of several places like that, but of course they're all about 8 hours freaking away. One's northern Illinois, and the other one's in Texas. And it's like, fuck, yeah, it would work out that way. Let me find one in Ohio or Kentucky or Tennessee, somewhere close by where I can drive to.
Right.
But yeah, it costs quite a bit to do the grapes, so I always supplement it with a little bit of Welch's concentrate, and it doesn't have any. Check the labels. Some of it's not, 100% juice. Some of it's made from
Right.
concentrate. Some of it's got potassium metabisulfate or sodium benzoate or um, potassium sorbate. You see that in some
Right.
too. The sorbate's not as bad. It just neuters the yeast, so the yeast don't breed as much or at all once they get. Not
Right.
all of them will be affected by it because it'll depend on this concentration, because you're just adding that gallon of juice with a bunch of grapes with a bunch of water and other stuff too. Try not to use water, just usually use juice, but the grape juices. So it dilutes it down quite a bit, but still some of your yeast are going to get neutered, and over time they all become neutered, and you just have to, it will probably stall on you, and you just add more yeast to help finish it off, and that
Right.
usually works, and you'll get a little extra yeast taste. But it's best to try to find stuff without the those preservatives in it, and they'll do better. I know the 100% stuff doesn't have any of that in it. The 100% juice, and it's harder. It gets harder to find. I mean, I can't find the white hardly anymore. That's that way. I can find the purple, but the white, the 100% white
Right.
juice is a little tougher to find. But adding the frozen concentrates to it too helps a lot. Those cans, those
Right.
are damn good. And it's just, and no water, just the concentrates. That keeps your flavors profiles way good. Yeah. Keg with condenser, corn, 2 row, caramel malt. Damn, yeah. Shit, brother. If you're putting all that together and you getting pretty good conversions. Yeah, if you're getting good conversions, using that liquid high temp and some glucose with that and getting good conversions, not needing any sugar, shit, I'll drink any of it as long as it ain't heads.
Right.
Yeah, man, that's good. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
It's
friend,
like
he goes.
sounds like that Ricky's got it figured out. I wonder how much Ricky is. Don't sound like much Ricky, does it?
Friend of mine, he goes to the food pantries after the food pantry gets done,
Hell
and
yeah.
fruit that's left over from the food pantries because they can't keep it for another week, you know.
And I've had places tell me, we can't give it away after it goes bad. We cannot give it away for liability reasons.
Right.
And
Food pantries up here, they only have one day that they distribute, so you only have that one day. So they're not going to keep it until the next Wednesday or the next.
right.
So they have to get rid of it, and they'll give it
You
to
gotta go,
farmers, and they'll give it to anybody that can take it.
right. Oh yeah.
You just got to get
Some
there,
places, yeah, give it to Goodwill, places like that. It's like,
right?
so you're giving them your rotting fruit. What kind of message is that sending?
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, a lot of people dumpster dive for that shit, man. They,
yeah.
you know,
They figure we're an hour away from anywhere where there's a shelter or a warming, anything like that. So anything that's a food pantry out here, if it's done that day, it's done. They give it to
yeah,
farm for the
yeah.
pigs.
Because I mean, we can take it, right up even when it's got just a little bit of mold on it. We can cut that off and
Mhm.
dump hot boiling water over top of it, kill anything off, and it won't hurt a damn thing. But
Right.
you know, I wouldn't want too much of it that way. I don't know.
No.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. And a lot of infections tend to carry over sometimes if you don't get it
Yeah. And then
disinfected well. But you can use
some,
those Camden tablets and kill everything off. Let it sit for a few days before you throw your yeast in there too.
you're handling everything with your hands. You can have a good piece of fruit, and then all of a sudden you handle a bad one, and everything after that. You
Yep,
know. So,
spreads little spores spread right to it.
boy,
Yep.
the better you put into it, the better you put out, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. But that's one reason you always want to add that boiling water over top of it, even if you're not dissolving sugars and all that. It's still, I don't. A lot of people say they want the wild yeast and stuff, but I tend to like the yeast I buy. Wild yeast kind of hit and miss if you don't have if you're not in an area that has a good wild yeast. I mean, a lot of people what they call wild yeast is not technically wild. It's just yeast that's been around because they've been distilling so long. It's on everything around them and they don't know it. And it's growing and living on everything where they're used to mashing in, and it's not wild yeast. It's the same yeast. It's just in the air and everything. It's in that wood stirring stick. It's everywhere. It's on every surface like powder mold.
Yeah. Yeah. Once you touch something, then you have it.
Any
Anything?
prohibition moonshine is still alive.
Yes.
Yeah, they'd have to be pretty old. I'd say there's I'd say there's a lot more that claim to be than is. Let's put it that way. Yeah. I for sure would say that. I'd say there's a lot more that claim to be.
Yeah, I figure they'd be up into their 90s. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah,
they'd have,
it's with 30s.
yeah, they'd have to be
Yeah,
up
definitely.
90s.
Late
Easy,
90s. Yeah. So
depending
they
on
probably are. Yeah, they probably are.
not many though.
Well, no, let's see.
Because they'd have to be,
That'd be their 70s if there's one, or just
right,
young. So you'd
right.
have to have, yeah, it'd be no, it'd be almost 90 years since the prohibition. So that had to be 100. Yeah,
Yeah, they'd have to be over. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty damn old. I doubt there's many left.
Nope.
But during the Prohibition, a lot of moonshiners were actually distillers before the Prohibition. The distillers were all of a sudden out of work. They weren't working at Jim Beam or Elijah Craig or none of these other factories and distilleries, legal distilleries. So they had to find work elsewhere, and a lot of them went to making their own moonshine and joined up with existing moonshiners, and they helped cross educate each other. They educated the distillers on how it was done in the backwoods, and the pros kind of taught the moonshiners a little bit about some of the science of it and some of the tools like hydrometers and other things that they used. And a lot of people say them old moonshiners, didn't or wouldn't use a hydrometer. And I guarantee if they'd had them and they was cheap back then, well, they had them, but they weren't cheap and they weren't common in most places where moonshiners would tend to go and be and live. But if they would have had them and they could have got them for the equivalent of $4, $5 that you can get them today, you can bet your ass they'd had them.
Yeah.
Now they might have broke them so much they'd have, said hell with it, I ain't used them some more. But they'd have damn sure tried them, and they liked it because just sticking your finger in there and you can taste the sweetness or not, but to know exactly how much and if you could explain to them and taught them, which a lot of those legal distillers did during that time, yeah, there was a lot of education, transferring, going back and forth. A lot of the commercial guys, when the prohibition was over, they took a lot of what they learned in the woods back with them, and a lot of the backwoodsmen learned a lot from the pros and kept a lot of that with them as well. So yeah, damn sure made moonshining better. That's for sure.
Crazy they could do that, All of a sudden they shut it off. No more for you.
Yeah, yeah. As I was saying earlier, that that whiskey rebellion, man, that was serious stuff.
Yeah.
There's different little Boston Tea Party, man. There's going on, Bam Bam.
Hey, Bam. Ooh, tomorrow's
Yeah,
football.
yeah, Bam Bam might have been alive back then.
He's telling them all how to do it.
Yeah, Bam Bam. He was probably around back then, weren't you, Bam Bam? There's a link if anybody wants to jump on here. So I had
Ooh,
a pretty good week.
get your break.
Except for a few bad news and the weather. It looks like next week's going to be bad, but I had a pretty good week aside from that. And I hate getting political, but I couldn't believe. I don't hate getting political when it comes to things like this. Damn it. Giving George Soros that medal. Hillary's bad enough a couple of years in a row.
Yeah.
But George Soros, man, I think that even pissed Democrats off.
I haven't watched the news for a few days.
Yeah.
I try not to. You catch the weather.
Yeah. It's depressing. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. Oh, that's something else.
We've had a wild week here as young kid killed on the ski slopes. It was quite a
Yeah,
thing.
Tony. What's going on, Eric?
I'm on distilling tips. I don't see any.
Yeah, I'd say it was pretty tough. I mean, I made shine out in the woods. So packing corn and packing sugar
Mm-hmm.
and carrying water is a lot of freaking work. A lot of work for sure. There's a lot easier ways to make money than making moonshine and bootlegging if you're doing it out in the woods and you're having to pack everything in and out like that. It's tough to do. Now, if you got water and you can have it pumped, that helps a lot, a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
But unless you're distilling out in the middle of a cornfield. You're gonna have to pack that corn in and out, and it's sugar.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the more you make, the more you get to haul.
Yep. What's going on, Eric? Oh, okay. I recognize your picture now. It's a smile over there in the comment section. I couldn't make out who you were. How's it going, man? I think he was from like Iowa. I'm guessing Iowa, wasn't it?
Whew. They had chicken and gravy.
Santa, what's the temperature to separate heads from the hearts? Well, you actually, I've never done it by temperature, and because it's an azeotropic mixture, it's really difficult to do it that way. I know in some commercial distilleries that run really large columns and continuous stills can retort and get and get around that and separate them actually in the column itself and fractionally distill them. But the way we run on most pot stills and stuff with shorter, smaller columns and stuff, um, basically your heads, the count will be in a, if this is if you run a pretty constant temperature throughout, and then as you get into the tails, you'll have to raise the temperature up a little, where you'll notice the temperature going up because you'll have less and less alcohol and more water left behind. But um, it's best to have a constant temperature, and generally they say 50 milliliters per gallon of water or per gallon of mash. A general rule, brandy's going to have more than like your regular grain as far as heads, fours and heads combined. Brandies are going to have more than just like your grain, or your sugar shine's going to have hardly any fours at all. Um, but generally speaking, and it's tough to peg it, but like 30% at the first is heads, and then you'll have like 40% hearts, and then you'll have back to 30% tails. And that's if you run it, kind of all close to being all the way down and keep those tails for your next run. But yeah, it's instead of just temperature, it's best to learn to go by smell and taste. When you're running them, it's best to start out with your heads and high heads that is going to be 4 shots, and high heads. Put those in a big jar. When it starts getting close to where you think you might be making some cuts, maybe going down to a pint jar, and separate those by pints or even half pints if you have a smaller steel. And then when you for sure into your hearts, you can go back to collecting in bigger jars because those are hearts. But try not to drink too much or taste the heads too much up to this point, because what happens is once you get the taste, for me anyway, once you get the taste of heads on your tongue, it's hard to tell when you hit your hearts, and you sometimes run into your hearts pretty good ways before you realize, wait, those are hearts. I wonder how much in the last jar. So but once you for sure into your heart, you can go back to the big jar and then run it all the way down in big jars till you feel you're getting into your tails, and you're getting a little bit of that wet cardboard, musty smelling, tails and some more fusel oils and stuff, and you're getting that kind of musty odor from it. Um, then you'll know that you're pretty much in your tails, and then run it on down in your tails. Because the next time you run it, you put those tails, as long as they're 80 proof or less, into your thumper and get a lot of ethanol. So you'll increase your production that way, and you'll get some ethanol out of it. So 30, 40, 30, or 50 milliliters per gallon will give you a pretty good starting point but learn that smell. Acetone has a pretty distinctive smell and taste. You'll definitely be able to taste it. Oh yeah, when you do go and start tasting it, start at the tails and then taste those, and you'll say, okay, I can definitely taste tails in that jar, but not so much this jar. So you might be able to take that last jar and mix it in, because you'll have so much hearts and not really be able to, if you're going for production and not flavor and quality. then you can mix it in with that, especially like if you're going to age it in a barrel. You'll definitely lose that. It'll esterify over time. Those oils will. And and then drink backwards towards your heads. That way, when you get to the hearts, oh man, that's good. That's good. Oh, that's good and sweet. That's good and sweet. And it's like, whoa, whoa. Then you've hit your heads, and for that, some people rerun them. I'm not much on rerunning. Maybe the low heads, if you want to start your big old, barrel of them or something. But I'll rerun the hearts, or I mean, I'll rerun the tails in the thumper. But they're finding out now that if it's like a brandy, don't do that more than once, because you can start building up, methanol, and and those are your 4 shots, and you don't want that in there. So
Right.
uh, that can be a problem. Interestingly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Let's just. Oh, what problem you got then? Maybe it's a little problem I'm having. Got a bourbon recipe that does real well for me. It's corn, white wheat, barley, and sweet potato. Well,
Sure.
that sounds like a good problem to have.
Yeah.
What's the problem? Well, a lot of people, when I say heads, a lot of people combine 4 shots in heads. And, you know, yeah, water is definitely where the flavor of your hydrosols and all your flavonoids and everything bonds to the water much greater so than the alcohol itself. That's why I say you don't really want a high proof coming off your brandies, your bourbons, and all that, because all your flavor is getting left in the thumpers and in your columns and all that stuff. So absolutely. But in others, like rums and vodkas, especially vodkas, you want that. You want to get that high proof and get all that water out and less flavor. Well, technically, with vodka, to call it a vodka, it has to go to 190 proof through the distillation process. And whiskey's just opposite. It can't go above 160, and that can't be barreled at more than 130. So, there's a lot of different, what they call TDB regulations or whatever.
The rules.
Yeah, temperature is really. I don't go by temperatures at all. There is a thermometer on mine, and I look at it, and that just gives me an idea of when it's probably about time to start dripping. I know when it gets to that mark on the thermometer, which is very inaccurate. I know it's about time that it's going to start dripping, and that's about all I use the thermometer for. Don't, it won't be any trouble at all. Just you might have to use a little more amylase and a little more water for sure. But yeah, you won't have to change anything. You'll just have to add a little bit of extra amylase to convert the sweet potatoes. Well, I mean, are you? What temperature are you cooking your sweet potatoes to? You're not cooking them at the same time as corn, are you? What's going on, Shadow? Because if you gelatinize corn and you're cooking the sweet potatoes with it, you're going to take all your enzymes out of your sweet potatoes. So I definitely gelatinize my corn first, and then add the sweet potatoes in when I normally would add a barley in, and do it that route and let them cook at that 150-degree temperature and for a good while. French fry, Paul Jones. I don't even remember, Paul. I don't remember what was said. So
No.
I was probably drunk, didn't even
Yeah.
notice, man. Must not have been real bad, or I have to remember it. So yeah, all right.
No. Being a dumbass. We're all.
It didn't get us banned from YouTube or Facebook. So yeah, just don't say anything that they don't like. I really don't care. People do and say what they want, but we got Facebook and YouTube to worry about, and we don't want them to take us off their platform. So we got to kind of kowtow to their rules sometimes. That's
Hmm.
why you don't see us on TikTok much because you can't do shit on there unless you
Right.
want to get naked. You can get on there half naked if you're a girl, but if you're a guy, you can't get on there and smoke a cigarette or drink shot out of a jar. They don't like it.
Yeah,
They're funny.
that's crazy. I don't remember you being a dumbass, so.
Not that I'm, complaining about the half dressed females on TikTok or anything,
Hi.
I mean, I'm all about freedoms, especially those, man. Keep up
Yeah,
the good work.
free the tatas. No, I don't remember you being a dumbass. Simon Cowell.
You just collect. You're gonna have what you have as long as you keep your temperature pretty constant. If you have a normal mash, you're going in at 100 or I mean, you got about a 10%, 12%, mash. You can expect drips to start having it about 196-degree pot temp. If you want temperatures. Now, 196 pot temp, it'll slowly increase as you go through the distillation until you end up with just water, and it'll be probably over 200 when you're kicking out tails. To keep it dripping at the same rate. So, but really, it's hard to go by temp and just go by taste. Don't doubt your nose and your taste buds because they're the best thing you got for picking out heads to hearts. There's no golden rule as far as temperature wise. That's all really still dependent and has also to do with your altitude. So there's a lot of other factors involved in temperatures and barometric pressures change it. There's so many things that can have an impact on it, like we were talking earlier tonight. This fellow was doing his outside, and damn it, the colder it gets, the hotter it has to get. So temperature wise, you're just going to have to trust your nose and just until you get good at it, make your cuts in smaller jars. That way you don't have a quart that was half hearts and just a little bit heads, but it ruined the whole jar. And if you do it in smaller jars, you can pretty much figure out where you're going to cut it. The off point. Trying to lower your arm. Well, um, try lowering the stack coming off. I mean, what do you on a keg? Bam, bam. Good. Yeah, if you steep them separate, that's good. That way you don't overcook your sweet potatoes and kill that denature that enzyme. But what are you using? A keg still? You got keg?
I have a friend that's going to be bringing me a bigger keg.
Yeah, definitely want oyster shells for sure. But if you got a keg still, a lot of times people have that column coming straight up off their keg steel. They have like a 2, 3 foot column of just, the 2-inch tube, And if you want to reduce that and increase your flavor coming off the arm, you can just go up a short way and then elbow it over. But if you got a copper steel with a cap, and your cap has the line arm or line arm, uh, coming down, um, then that's about as good as you're going to get because you're not getting any reflux. You're getting more flavor, and they call it Kentucky Arm or whatever. But that's about all you can do. I mean, on a copper steel with a cap like that you paste or whatever on. You're pretty much limited to that. But if you got a keg, you can always reduce the length of that column, make it shorter, and you can reduce the proof coming off of it. And going a little hotter than usual too will help get a little bit more water
Mhm.
coming off early. And if you go low and slow, you tend to get a cleaner distill, but you also get a little higher proof to start and all the way through it. And so, you know, you figured out, brother.
I got a buddy of mine's bringing me a larger still for the bottom.
Yeah, I agree. TikTok's way over. I mean, they allow certain levels of vulgarity, but certain speech isn't allowed, which I have trouble with. I think anybody should be able to say anything, and if it hurts your feelings, then that should be speech you protect more than what you do agree with. But just like somebody smoking a cigarette on there or vaping, and it's like, no, you can't do that on here. It's like, okay, you can't drink alcohol, and then some say, oh, you just can't get drunk on there. Okay, whatever. So who's going to be the judge of that? If you
Yeah.
drink a little bit, and you speak a little to the right, you're out of here. Drink
Yes.
a little bit and speak to the left, okay, you'll be all right. So
Mhm.
it gets political, and it depends on who's, you know, watching you
Uh,
and all that.
who decides that?
What's y'all's opinions on the Chinese beverage steels? I, I I think there's certain aspects to them. We were talking about it earlier tonight. There's certain aspects to them that are great, like the football steels. They those are pretty good. All in all, if you're going to get one, I'd recommend that for sure. And they work pretty well, for what they are and what they cost. For somebody just getting into the hobby, I'd highly recommend one. If you don't want to go all copper and go the traditional route, you can use the football steel and pack you a little copper mesh in that football and turn out some pretty good product. I'm not gonna lie. It's not gonna be as good as probably as a copper steel, but a little lower maintenance and definitely, in most of our, what you can afford. If you can afford to get a copper steel, absolutely get one. It's awesome. They're the best. They distribute the heat better. They
Yeah.
remove your sulfurs from a lot of your brandies and stuff. They get rid of a lot of the sulfides and stuff and the bad flavors, and that's a superior product. But you pay a superior price for them. But for somebody getting started, those the 3-pot steels maybe not as good because the condensers are undersized. So the little coil worm out of copper, you're going to have to increase the length of that copper and get a little bit bigger pot for it. The gaskets, the little gaskets that hold on the brass fittings that attach to the lids tend to crack over time, generally from heat and cold and from over tightening. So you're going to have to replace those, but and replace the flex lines with some solid copper lines, and I mean you can bush rig it and make it a little better and make some improvements to it. I mean, it's a stainless steel pot. It's a stainless steel pot. I mean, it'll boil shit just fine. It's thin. It's not real heavy duty like a keg steel would be, but you can't put a keg steel on electric stove.
Right.
So there's trade offs for each. But I mean, keg steels are excellent. The beauty of a keg steel is it can sit in the corner and somebody look at it and there's a keg. They don't look at it and say, "Oh, there's a steel." So it's kind of you know, camouflaged. Nobody looks at it that way, and they're very durable. You can stand on top of a keg. I doubt you're going to do that with a vapor steel. And you can run a pretty decent column on a keg that you can't on a vapor steel unless you use some supports from above or something like that.
Yeah.
But they make excellent little starter kits. I'd say a 13 to 18 gallon would be a good place to start. A lot of people get the small 5-gallon ones, and more power to you. And there's nothing wrong with it, but it's just really difficult to run. It's really difficult to get good cuts on them because you're not getting a lot of product. And you're not, to me, it's just a lot of work for little return when you start getting that small. So I think a 13 to 18 is excellent size. Football steels are excellent. The footballs are great for whiskeys or brandies. And if you want to get a little higher proof, you can, like I say, attach your little columns with your sanitary connections. It's at the top of the football steel pot's lid, and it's got a ferrule on there that's a sanitary connection. It's 2.5 that you can reduce to 2 and run any 2-inch, sanitary stainless fittings that you want to run, shotgun condensers, lots of copper assortments and accessories that you can run on it, jar rigs, thumpers, copper, anything, Philbilly, everybody, make stuff to go onto that football vever because it's just so easy to. It's very convertible with that 2.5-inch ferrule that it's got on its lid. That makes it really, really convertible. But they both work fine. Just got an 8-gallon 3-pot just to play with. Hey, it's excellent. You'll definitely want to increase the size of the copper um, worm that's going into that small pot. Don't ever just leave that top valve open all the time and let it drain. It's hard to. You'll have to get. You'll have to bend that little piece of copper on the very top that blocks it, and be able to set like the drinking water, the little plastic things, 12-ounce, 16-ounce drinking water things. Put those in the freezer. Well, drain a little bit of water out. Put them in the freezer and freeze them, and just set them in the middle of that coil as you're working. Have a cooler full of them ready because you'll go through them pretty quick. But the problem is with those, the water that you got coming in, it outruns how quickly it can drain. So you can only allow so much water in, and it ends up running hot. It's just grossly undersized. So it's best to make a bigger one for you if you can. If not, plan on going through a lot of those little water bottles full of ice. Keep the water in there from 60 to 75. It doesn't matter if it goes 50 to 80. But yeah, it's a little bit undersized, but don't over tighten the gaskets on the plumbing on the lid. But if you can and you're pretty handy, I would definitely go to away from the copper flex or from the flex lines to an all copper 1/2 inch to 5/8, and make some fittings on that lid and go that route. I mean, they're decent little steels. They'll turn out fine. I mean, you'll learn a lot from it, and hopefully you'll love the hobby and want to upgrade and do more and better. And it gets better though as you get larger steels and copper steels and stuff. It gets better, and as you learn more, you get better. What's going on, Jeremy? Are you still down there in Gatlinburg? You just coming in from the party?
Hey,
Are
Jerry.
y'all still partying down there?
He was having fun last I saw.
Yeah, yeah, I saw that too. Posting all those pictures, rubbing it in like that. That'd be a damn shame if I was him. That's all I'm saying.
I'm
Having
proud.
all that fun rubbing it in like that. I swear to
I'm
God.
proud of you.
Wish we were there. What's going on, Jason? Everybody coming in late tonight. Everybody been out partying, just coming home. Want to beat the crazy hour when everybody's getting pulled over at closing time. Was everybody hung over this morning?
They weren't
I
doing
just bet they were. Yeah, I was wanting to come down, man, and it just wasn't in the stars, man. I was going to go down with Wes and them, and then I didn't finalize it with Wes, and he wasn't sure if I was coming, and Ian was riding with Wes, and then Ian was taking his wife, and Rigsby was riding, and all of a sudden Rigsby's taking his daughter too, and it just I got the boot, and I understand, they're all tight and live up here next to each other and buddies, and I understand. So, I didn't follow up soon enough, but it is what it is. I mean, hell, it's just the way it goes. I couldn't drive because my damn brakes were out on my car, and I've been working on those. It's freezing and getting the parts in, waiting on the parts and getting them and getting it done. I was 2 days getting that done. And Ann's leaving Sunday, so we were going to be pressed to get back on time tomorrow. So it's just going to be a rush, and it's just just wasn't in the stars. I would love to be in there and party and have a good time, but I was thinking about driving down today, and it's just like, man, do I want to drive 7.5 hours just to go down there and spend 2 or 3?
Yeah. Wow.
I couldn't do it.
No. I don't like spending that much time in a car.
Some folks didn't remember leaving last night. Huh? Yeah, I wish I was there, man. Tell everybody howdy. Yep, I wish I was there getting drunk right now.
They were coming on live.
I know,
They
Mark. I
would.
agree, brother. You know, I got so much I got to do. This is the worst time it could happen. But when I was going down to Tennessee to Old Fort to play Santa and give away those presents on the way there, my brake pad flew, and I started going metal to metal. So I mean, nothing I can do. I'm not stopping them, you know, and that paying Midas or somebody like that to do my brakes and you know get a room overnight. It was just no, you know. So I just you know it was the back brakes too. So yeah, you can mix hearts with tails, but don't drink it. You know, when you mix hearts and tails together, a lot of people do that when they plan on rerunning it. So if you do mix hearts and tails, oh wait a minute, hearts and tails. I'm thinking heads and tails. Hearts and tails. Um, I wouldn't go too far down into the tails. It has a funky flavor, you know, and it will it your tails just won't taste right. Yeah, it's. I wouldn't go too far into the tails. I will say once you get down so far in the tails that there is what called sweet water that a lot of people like to take. You know, when it gets around like 20 proof down to like 10 proof. A lot of people like taking, you know, that and using it because it has some unique flavors that can carry over when you age it. But for like just a straight white dog that you're going to drink off the tap, I think pretty much um, mostly hearts. Now, if like I were talking about earlier, if you make the cuts in small jars and you've got like 30 small jars and you produced a bunch, you can taste those jars in the tails and you can find certain esters and you can do the same in the head, you know, some of the heads. There's some heads that come off that are actually fruity sweet tasting. You know, if you get just the right time and cut and the right percentage, but you almost have to be right there sampling it as it comes off the tap to do that in a pro. You know, it's not something somebody just starting off is going to be able to do. But there's certain little cuts that you can make throughout the run other than just hearts that'll add some character to it. But those are generally used in very low proportions just for, you know, like you get down that tails and you got this one that's, you know, got some extra, you know, a little bit of extra flavor, funky that you think would taste good. Yeah, sure. I mean, the worst that can happen is you just run it again and get rid of it. You know, that's the beauty of distilling. If you fuck something up, as long as you don't scorch it, you can generally fix it. You know, just run it all again. And I mean, dump it right back into the steel, the back set, and everything, and just run her all over again if you don't like it. But that's as long as you don't scorch, you can always do that. It gets better every time. Dry ice in their water tank. I don't think ice and dry ice and water don't get along very well.
Oh, it'll snap, crackle, pop on you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, if it's contained, you might be able to. I mean, but I don't know. It might get explosive. I don't. I've never done much with dry ice. I know you can blow the gas into the cold, you know, water and keep it cold. You know, the nitrogen, but I don't know about dry ice. You don't really need
The
the
water.
condensing water doesn't need to be that cold. I mean, if you got a swimming pool that's 70 degrees, awesome. Just run it. And I mean, you can run it all day long on a big, you know, on a big steel and it's just perfect. It's such a large heat sink that, you know, you're not going to change the temperature of the pool maybe 1 degrees over, you know, full 15-hour run or whatever if you had a big steel. So, but the larger the body of water that you use for, you know, for your circulation, it doesn't have to be that cold, you know, just 60 to 70, 75 degrees is fine, you know.
Big cooler with a couple bags of ice in it.
Yep. Yeah, I do too, Jimmy. Yeah, smaller cuts for sure.
Oh,
I heard that. Somebody happy. Somebody score or something in a game.
what, from here?
Yeah.
Oh, my son in the other room playing his video games.
Oh, he just kicked somebody's ass or won a game.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing old school. He's doing Crash Bandicoot.
Crash Pandas. What?
Crash Bandicoot? Yeah.
I've never played that one.
Yeah, Crash, I don't know, there's a few of them. It's kind
Cool.
of Sonic, but
Console game.
is what?
Console game.
Yeah, yeah. He's on PlayStation right now,
Cool. Cool.
but it has the 1, 2, and 3. It's a trilogy of them, so he's beaten through them.
Two. I had some sweet high shots. Yeah, I've tasted some heads that had some esters in some of the heads that had some sweet fruity flavors to it. Actually, is and it didn't taste acetone. But it's unique. It doesn't happen. I agree all the time. It probably does happen all the time. It's just that small a bit. And it varies to when it's going to happen. We just don't know that it's happening because it's not a whole lot, and because we don't run a lot. I guess if you're in, 1,000-gallon steels, you'd notice that half gallon or gallon of sweetness. But yeah, when you're small steel, this is the shot. You missed it.
That's funny.
Oh, well, it's 11 o'clock, and I'm going to turn into a pumpkin here before long.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired. My old lady's leaving tomorrow, so I got to give her a little her time and hang for a while. She's got to get up and work tomorrow and then come home and cook me dinner, and then, I'm going to take her out. But then fly out tomorrow evening,
Yeah.
so I got to spend a little time with her before she hits the hay tonight. I won't have much time tomorrow.
Good. I hope
Then I
that
miss her for a whole week, man. I don't know. Guess I'll have to
well,
eat out.
unattended.
Yeah, I'd be lonely and eating out. That's me.
Yeah, it
How
would.
cold can a mash get before it dies? Actually, usually your yeast don't die. I mean, I guess there's a certain temperature, absolute zero. I'm sure they're not going to survive 400 minus Fahrenheit, but um, generally speaking, they don't die. They just go dormant when they get cold. So, a lot of times, you can warm them up and they'll take back off, and then sometimes you might need to throw a little bit of yeast in on top of it once it does warm back up and get them kick started again. But generally, they don't don't die off, but they definitely will go dormant for sure. That temperature usually depends on the yeast. A lot of your baking yeast and your deity yeast and turbo yeast generally like warmer temperatures. Your wine yeasts and your champagne yeast generally can deal with cooler temperatures better, and actually kind of prefer, a little bit cooler than standard. But most of the yeast is good down into the 50s, but after that they're just like, nothing. They're not going to do anything once it gets so cold. And then after that, once it warms up into the 70s, they'll pick right back up and slowly start to work again.
That's what I'm trying to figure out is where to keep stuff so I can keep it warm. And how,
I've always ground up any flake corn, flake barley, anything that's flaked. I go ahead and grind it up. um, with your flake barley, you're not going to have enzymes, so don't depend on those for the enzymes and stuff, because the steam rolling process um, kills, denatures a lot of those enzymes. But as far as grinding them up, I'm sure it probably helps for flavor, to leach more flavor out of them. Um, kind of like rye. If you leave it as a whole grain, it doesn't add a whole lot of spice, but If you grind it medium, you'll get medium amounts, and if you grind it real fine, you'll get a lot more. So I'd say flake barley is going to be probably the same way. Probably less crucial to grind a flake barley than you would a standard barley, um, because it's already been cooked and you're not really dependent on those enzymes. Yeah, they don't like 18 degrees. Yeah, they're not happy. But I will say, once you're done with your fermentation, putting them out in the cold helps cold crash. It's called cold crashing, and it'll help that cap drop faster and the mash clear quicker. So flaked barley, malted barley, and oats. Interesting. That'll be good. So I guess the flake barley is probably a 2-row, and then the malted's probably a 6-row. But yeah, that'll be good, man. Sounds good. Single malt. Yeah, that should turn out real good. I look forward to drinking that next time you come to a festival. See us. Bring old Santa a jar of that. Just make sure that you catch me early so I'll remember it. You catch me late night and hand me a jar, and then 3 weeks later on live say, "You remember that one jar I gave you?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, I remember. I remember it." No, I don't remember a damn thing after I get that far along. What's going on, Roy? Buddy, I'm drinking blackberry brandy. And Lisa's drinking coffee from
Mark
Mark.
coffee from Uncle Moonshine. It's impressive. Over a
Well,
little bit of vanilla ice cream, that
I'll
would
have to
be.
get me another jar of brandy. I got a little bit of this brandy built up in there. It's pretty good. It's not bad. It's not my best, but it's drinkable. I got some peach in there too. It's post peach and some regular peach. It's pretty good. I got some post peach I'm working on. I'm trying to imitate Tall Pines peach, and I'm pretty close, but I've got to get one more concentrate. The Tyranny, and I'm going to try the Moaning, and I've already got the one I never can think of. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Man, mine's a terrible thing to lose.
I can't think of the other. Begins with a P, right?
Yeah, what is that? Got it.
I had them all written down at one point.
Tyranny, Moaning, and it's a different, unique one. It's one that a lot of people don't use so much of. That's why I don't remember it.
I don't have.
Lisa, you're supposed to remember this stuff for me.
I don't have my notes over here. I've got them.
What is that? Daggone it.
I've been taking and trying to make a year's compilation of silly and silly things that have happened during the lives.
Well, it won't take me long here. I can Olive Nation. I thought of it right when I was getting ready to go to my daggone Amazon to see what it was when I ordered it. Yeah, Olive Nation. I never can remember that, but I did finally. Cucumber watermelon gingers.
Ooh.
Man, that sounds like very interesting.
There you go.
Very interesting.
Sounds like that ought to be a gin.
Mm-hmm. Cucumber watermelon ginger. And that sounds good. What's it taste like? Any tips for working with high rye mash? Don't. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a big rye. I like a little bit, and I can do 5 or 10% rye that's got a little spice with it, in the grain bill. But the real high rise, it's yeah, not so much. It gets a little too hot and spicy for me. But after it's in the barrel for a while, it gets better.
Chills out.
but a high rye white dog is an acquired taste for me. It's spicy. It's hot. But some people love it. So I mean, it's all about what you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like yeast, what's the best yeast? The yeast you like.
Yeah.
It's like
That,
telling people what to put on their hamburger. You just kind of can't do that.
yeah. That rye whiskey I have is nice. I'm not sure what percentage is what. I'd have to go look, but that's a nice rye whiskey. Get just enough pepper, peppery.
Awesome. Hmm. And so you plan on doing something like for that watermelon competition we got going on next year, far in the bottom? I might have to get some tips on that.
Roy.
If not, how long can water be stored in plastic water jugs before it affects the taste? Now, I'm big on microplastics. I think it's horrible. People don't understand what's going on with a lot of microplastics in our environment. I definitely, 40, 50 years ago, the milk jugs were a different plastic than they are today. Back then, it was very dangerous and it leached more out than what it is today. PCBs and polyphenols and all that shit. Back in the day, they didn't know as much about them. They do now. There's actually warnings where I was raised about it because there was so much moonshining going on there that, don't use milk jugs. Now it's made with a different plastic. It's a little more inert, but I still don't trust it. I don't like putting it in buckets. I don't like putting it in anything but glass. But I will, for short periods of time, put it in these little flasks. This kind of stuff for short term, it's fine in these. This is a very inert plastic. These are actually made for alcohol. Make sure you get ones that work. But PET, polyethyl toluene, is pretty inert to alcohol. That's what most of your liquor bottles are made of that you get in the store. Um, so there's some plastics that they sell commercially that you can get at the liquor store it's in PET plastic, and it's hard clear plastic. You've seen them. And they
Yeah.
say it's okay. It's fine. They say, but me, I like having it in glass, and they also say, and when you put it in these in the jars, the lids weren't designed for alcohol, so they'll break down. That plastic in your ball jar lids will break down too. So just necessarily, if you're going to keep it in a ball jar, make sure it's below the rim and not sideways where it's coming in contact with the lid the whole time, or get you a hillbilly jar lid that's got wood there, and that you'll actually get some benefit from. So
Yes.
that'd be another benefit to having those, is get away from that plastic ball jar lid and that seal. But yeah, I agree. Plastic's a horrible thing. We got them in our oceans to bad levels. We got them in our waters. It's not good for our bodies. And a lot of people, they're just becoming more and more aware about microplastics, man. Yeah. But I tend to, I'll use them for short periods, but too, a lot of your plastic, and I've had people say, well, on the chart here, it shows that ethanol is this plastic here is totally inert to ethanol, and that's wonderful. That's great. HDPE, LDPE, PET, maybe some others are perfectly inert to ethanol, but that's pure ethanol or pure ethanol in water. That's not ethyl alcohol, acetaldehydes, and acetones, and everything else that you got in the forers, the heads, and the tails that carry throughout the run. So the ethanol is inert to those plastics, but look what acetone does to some of them, and ethyl acetates, and you know butyl alcohols and other alcohols other than ethanol that you're getting out of those. So some of them, the ethanol pure hearts might be just fine and dandy, but when you start mixing a lot of the other stuff in there, they do have an effect on it on that chart too, and especially acetone, ethyl acetate. it definitely can eat up some plastics that ethanol doesn't phase. So
It's nasty.
yeah, it does. I mean, in certain plastics, I absolutely no way in hell. Milk jugs. I just go back in my past. I mean, I know the modern ones aren't so bad, but the old ones. I mean, there's people getting their livers and you know, linings, plastic retention in their bodies majorly from it and affecting their health. And I don't know about anybody dying, but there's public service announcements in my area growing up that talking about moonshine and milk jugs. It just wasn't a good combo back in the 70s.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Favorite recipe. I don't have any favorite thing to drink. I like a lot. I like a lot of wines now that I'm getting older. I drink a lot more wines than I have in the past. Did Bam Bam answer your question I missed? Thank you, Bam Bam. Yeah, I do too, buddy. I love it. Jack Daniels barrel proof fries, awesome. 70%, 76. I mean, I'll have to try it. I do know, like I say, the barrel, helps a lot with the rye. A white dog rye is not so good, but there's some medium rye mixes that's pretty good after they sit in that oak for a while. But I definitely want to try that cucumber watermelon
Yeah, that does sound
ginger.
really good.
I look forward to that, Roy. So save us some now.
It does sound good.
Yep. No, corn liquor's good. Good old corn liquor is awesome. You don't have to get any kind of special corn. I do recommend if you go to the feed store, don't get cracked corn. Get whole kernel. That way it stays fresh to right when you want to crack it and use it or grind it up and use it. Get you a grinder. I don't recommend doing like I did and using blenders and food processors and all that stuff and having your wife or girlfriend beat you up because you ruined her $100 Oster food processor or something. Get a grinder. I used to go to Goodwills and get blenders and food processors and choppers
Yeah.
and tried to be cheap about it and spend $10 here and there, and
Did you
it
see
got
the
silly.
shredder? Somebody
Huh?
used a paper shredder?
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That
Yeah, it
sounds
had a
pretty
paper
interesting.
shredder and it had a cone on the
Yeah,
top of
yeah, hell
cardboard
yeah,
for
I
game.
love it.
Hell yeah.
Anything that works like that,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I thought that
But
was
yeah, get one of
cool.
those grinders. Wait, if you can get it on a good sale, Memorial Day sales, Black Friday's a good time to get them. I know we just passed in Christmas sales,
Yeah.
um, but you can pick up those grinders. I know Vever's got some out. Um, Look at the wattage. If you do like a lot of hard winter wheat, red wheat, that's going to be probably as hard or harder than the corn is to grind. So, you know, I finally bit the bullet and spent $160 some dollars. It was on a Black Friday deal. It was regularly like a $230 grinder. I got it for like $160 on a Black Friday deal, and it was a good one. Works great. And if you're doing, I like wheat, so if you're grinding up wheat that's not malted, it gets pretty stubborn. That winter red wheat is pretty tough. So yeah, just get you a grinder. You'll in the long run you'll be able to do more. It's faster. It's much more pleasurable and less work. But when you're young and you're on a budget, you do what you got to do, man. I don't care. That's what I was getting ready to say. Historical, put it in some cloth and just beat it with a hammer. Pillowcase and a brick will work. Hell yeah, I like it. You do that when you're young and poor. You damn sure you use anything you can find, man.
Yep.
But that's what the Indians did. I mean,
Yep.
they ground that shit on stone, man. They ground it so much there'd be little holes in the stone, ground down.
They have a
They
whole.
Yeah, they call them hominy holes.
Yeah. They
In
roll that through, come back, roll it through, come back.
Yeah, they just sit there and grind. They'd get these like stalactites out of these caves and shit. They'd be naturally round and phallic like, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
It's nice and rounded with a rounded head, and they'd sit there and grind that corn up on these rocks with it. And over time, they would grind holes into the rock
Yeah.
itself, and it's called a hominy hole, and you can see it on top of rocks all over here in Kentucky where they used them, and it's a little harder to find. A lot of times, people break those off and take them home, or they destroy them. But that's how they used to do it. It's kind of like a mortar and pedestal in the wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Brick in a pillowcase, man. Love it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Well, what is
That'll
it?
definitely work. Was it Jason that did the paper shredder? Hey,
I
that's
think it
awesome,
was.
man.
I think it was. And well, up
Whatever
in,
works, man. That's awesome.
I think it's Monticello there. They have the gazebo,
Hmm.
and the floor has slats in it. And they'd put the wheat on the floor and run horses around in a circle, and the chaff would go down through, and they'd have the people collecting up the chaff
Cool.
at the bottom, and that's how they threshed their.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty
Because a
cool.
lot of times they wouldn't just grind stuff. Because sometimes you want stuff rolled or
Yeah.
crushed instead of ground. For different flavor. Beer makers, especially.
Yeah.
They're really picky about how it's treated.
But they still run that today. They have a
That's wild.
thing that you can go watch them.
Yeah,
And get the horse in there. That
yeah,
horse stops, man. There's a guy right on it waiting with a bag.
yeah.
Whichever way that horse wants to pee or poo, that guy's gonna catch it, so it doesn't
Oh,
get it, you know.
yeah.
And they shower him again, and away around he goes. That's all he spends his day running right around in circles, threshing that wheat.
Yeah, Simon. Yeah, that's the biggest difference, and yeah, you'll note the difference in the acetone. If you've got an acute nose and a good sense of taste, you can definitely smell it. I generally don't like to taste it a lot when I'm making cuts, but I will get it on my fingers and rub it on my fingers under my nose to get it volatile. But yeah, get used to smelling if you get acetone. Um, Now, fingernail polish, everybody says fingernail polish, but most of that sounds perfumed and shit. So, when you smell it, it's not just acetone you're smelling, it's
Right.
perfumey. But like if you get acetone that you strip wood with, strip lacquer with, and stuff like that from, like Home Depot or something,
Yeah.
it smells a lot different than your wife's fingernail polish remover. But yeah, get used to that smell, and you'll know the difference in the way it feels. Ethanol's a lot cleaner. I know, like when you rub your hair, if it's clean, you know how it's clean and it kind of grabs and catches versus just slide, through. Like if it gets a little bit oily, your fingers will just slide through your hair. But if it's clean, it kind of has that catch to it, that squeaky catch. It's kind of hard to describe, but and you'll feel that, in your fingers. You'll feel when it starts to get cleaner and a little less oils. And then when you start getting in the hearts, or I'm sorry, the tails with more oils, you'll feel that difference too. You'll feel it go from squeaky clean back to slicky oily again. But just your nose, you'll be able to tell. Just smell it. And the thing about it is, you're not going to if you just throw the first bit off, you're not going to distill anything that's going to kill you like that. Your four shots, if you concentrated them, yeah, they can kill you and go blind and all that. And you've heard so many horror stories, but usually that happens in third world countries from places that rerun their tails and rerun it and rerun it and rerun it, like brandies and stuff, over and over and over and over, and they actually concentrate four shots. When you do stupid stuff like that, yeah, you get greedy and stupid. Yeah, you're gonna run into issues, or can. But if you just dump the first, if you dump 50 milliliters out of every gallon, you're not gonna die. You might have a hangover. It might slightly affect your flavor. If you put it in a barrel for 3 years, it's not going to have much effect on your flavor at all, because that barrel will hide a lot of that. I wouldn't recommend it. It still puts it at the low shelf, but it's not going to taste headsy as a white dog with heads in it. But yeah, it's something that you're going to tell the difference. You can taste it, you can smell it, and you can feel it once you get experienced. But like I say, if you can go 30%, 40%, 30%, you can kind of do a little process elimination and figure out what's what. And if when in doubt, just be conservative, and push those jars that are questionable on over to the side and don't do it, if you want the best. What's a good
Um,
brand for sweet feed for mashing? Again, that goes to taste. Um, Roy, no, we've got some friends that work in the same business, and I heard him talking the other day, and in the molasses and a lot of the things that go into an animal grade feed, like a sweet feed and stuff, is probably not going to be the best. Daggone it. I don't have a
no,
shot. I have to dig into something else down here for a shot. Let's see. Oh, that was empty. Shit. Hey, I'll drink some of Fergie's lemon cello.
it's
What was I even talking about? Oh,
creepy.
sweet feed. I wish Sean Peterman was on here. He knows more than me. He makes it. He makes animal feed. Roy probably chime in to you too. But um, the molasses and the molasses that they use a lot of times for sweet feed might be sulfured. A lot of times the molasses that they use is green when it's picked. It's not mature, and it's a very low grade molasses. The corn that goes into it, a lot of times it'll have cob in it too, and other shit where they get cheap and lazy and they want to, you know. So the best sweet feed to use is the sweet feed you make, and yeah, they get sulfured. Um, the If you could just get yellow dent corn, deer corn with no additives, just regular yellow dent corn that's sold everywhere. Don't get any enriched, anything that's fortified, enriched,
Flavored.
no flavors, no minerals added, none of that shit. Just straight yellow dent corn, which most Tractor Supplies and everybody has. Um, Southern states, everybody's gonna have it.
Mhm.
Um, Yellow dent makes it excellent. It's good. I mean, better than a lot of other corns. But just make your own sweet feed with that and get you some food grade molasses or a little better quality molasses. I know Phil Billy's got this outfit that makes this. I'm trying to think of the name, Caribbean Gold molasses or something like that. Caribbean. I can't think. It's Caribbean something, but it's a little molasses that's made specifically for rum making. Um, then yeah, but making your own that way is probably the best. Somebody's asking today, what would mixing molasses and corn be like? And I'm like, well, pretty much it's a sweet feed. Might have been you. I don't know. Caribbean Gold, yeah. Um, so that stuff's pretty good. You get it cheaper through probably Phil Billy than Amazon on that, and but it's pretty good if you wanna try some or get a good quality unsulfured molasses, not just some of the worst, uh, sulfured or cheap animal grade stuff and make your own sweet feed. But for me, I I like rum as a rum, um, made with just some molasses and maybe some other rum like ingredients that I add, maybe a little regular sugar or some dextrose or something to bump it up and get a little higher octane. But I'm not haven't been real impressed with most of my runs that have come with mixing corn and trying. I've of course tried the sweet feed. I've tried bird seed, bird feed. I've tried a lot of different things. But yeah, I wasn't as I won't. I have to ask Bean anyway. Everything you say I have to clear with Bean.
I know that Purina makes it doesn't have the molasses in it, but a chicken feed that's organic, and it has corn and wheat and rye in it. I think the three.
Yeah,
Purina one. It's real.
yeah.
Again,
But
doesn't
I've
have.
heard some mixed reviews on that Purina. Because some of their stuff, some who was it? I'm trying to think. Chickens. They didn't like the chicken Purina chicken feed. They were saying there was something in it that was cutting down on the laying of the eggs, and they were saying it wasn't.
Yeah, they
And
have.
I'm nothing against Purina. They make excellent products, and my cat loves their food. But there was something, and I don't
Yeah,
even know if there's truth to it. That might have just been an
that was
internet
that
kind
was
of
the
bullshit.
chicken feed. It wasn't the scratch feed. The
Right.
scratch feed is the one that has the corn and the wheat and the rye.
Hmm. Hmm.
Organic, it's a scratch feed.
Right.
There's no preservatives, no antifungal, and all that shit
Right.
on it.
Right. Yeah. That's the
So
problem. Yeah. We just put that up there so everybody can see that.
he's my boss.
Yeah. Hormones, everything else. They put all kinds of shit in there.
Yeah,
But when they're making animal feed like that and making sweet feed, a lot of them tend to include a little cob, and it's some people say it's made with the corn that hits the floor, that gets
yeah,
swept up
yeah,
into the dust pan, and gets put into the sweet feed bin. Yeah.
yeah.
So it's generally not the best of the
Not food
ingredients
grade
coming out of
anymore.
that feed house.
That's not food grade anymore.
Yeah. And it's foot grade. Pure non-sulfur molasses, $25 a gallon, meant for human consumption. Exactly. Yep. And what ratio did Phil Billy come up with? It? He figured what, about 2.5 pounds per gallon, 2.5 pounds of molasses per gallon worked out best. I think he said some people were telling him 3, and he tried that, and the gravity was a little bit high. So if I recall, he came out with about 2.5, and that's about the same for honey too. So
Yeah.
that works as a good standard, and about the same for grain, really. So that's, 2.5 pounds is two and a
Uh-huh.
half pounds across the board. Yeah, honey, grains, whatever. It'll work. That's one less thing we have to remember. But yeah, I mean, it's a unique flavor. Mixing the molasses with the corn. Making a mountain rum. Um, so yeah, it gives it unique flavors that's good. You know, Everybody likes different things, man. If not, there'd just be one bottle on the shelf for all of us. But yeah, I like the taste of molasses in the rum. Um, it's okay with corn, but I do prefer it with just the other sugars, making it like a rum. And with my corn, I tend to throw some oats and wheat and barley in there to make it kind of work for me. I like wheat and oats a lot, though. I like using those a lot. Makes them sweet and soft, like my women. Yes, when you gonna run? I've always got something working off. I've got blueberry in there. I've got 10 or 15 gallons of blueberry in there to run in a bit. It's just making wine, but I don't have anything else fresh going. I've been wanting to do some peaches, but I just have to wait in the freezer until it's
Just
time.
gotta wait for warmer weather. Trying to get everything warm.
Yeah, I mean, I can
Plant.
ferment in my basement, so in my laundry room, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, I'm missing a clamp. I gotta get a clamp.
Oh, you got to get a clamp,
Yeah, so I'm missing
dry
one.
clamp.
Yep.
Well, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it ain't much. It's just something, But I can't keep
yeah,
it warm right now. I'd
yeah. A
have.
lot of people just use brown sugar. Somebody's asking tonight if they could do corn and brown sugar, and I'm like, absolutely. It'd be fine. Actually, brown sugar has not very much molasses in it, so you might not even notice it unless it's a dark, brown sugar, and then you'll probably notice it if you don't do any converting or anything. But I can't remember what group it was, but one of them was on it. Hell yeah. Rolled oats are awesome, man. I always put a handful or two of them in there no matter what I'm doing, even if it's a sugar wash.
Yeah.
just to help feed, hell yeah. Always. I like adding oats to about everything. Wheat, to my whiskeys and stuff to add a little sweetness to them. But yeah, I've been known to throw oats in the sugar wash, anything.
So
Except for my brandy. I don't like if I'm making, like a blackberry brandy, I'm not throwing oats in that. But, or any kind of, most of my brandies, I don't put oats in. But any grains, we'll definitely get oats. Any sugar washes or rums or anything like that, definitely get some oats. I like oats. It softens it up, makes it a little easier to drink. People say, damn, this doesn't taste like it's 100 proof. Tastes like 80, or something. That's that softness of oats.
that's what you like to hear.
Yep.
No,
So is everybody preparing for this big winter storm coming our way?
I know. That means we'll have it in a few days after you.
Yeah. Yep. I know a lot of people be saying, my fermentation stopped. You think everybody, because it's going to get cold inside the house too, man. It's going to be hard to keep warm, and even 75-degree houses are going to start getting cool, and even their fermentations and those are going to start getting stuck.
Yeah, that's my thing. The floors are cold, so you got to get it up off the floor and find a spot where it'll stay
Yep.
warm. Are
Yeah,
those
it's headed this way.
tri clamps on that keg still that they use?
Hmm.
Okay. I'll
Yeah.
make
The
sure.
thing about the fitting the keg is the the gasket that you get will have a ridge on one side and be
Yep.
flat on the other. So
Right.
if you get a gasket that's got a ridge on both sides, you need to kind of trim it off. Oh, especially if it's the PDFE plastic type.
Right.
The silicone seems to mesh a little better, but still, if you can get a razor and just trim it off real carefully, but you can get them with a flat side. But a lot of times too, some tri clamps aren't wide enough to fit real good. They don't want to go on; they're just too snug. Some will. Some of the cheaper ones they say might
Right.
might fit better than some of the expensive ones, or vice versa, because of the less exacting standards. But you'll find one that will generally fit better than some of the others because it's just not wide enough, especially if it still has that ridge on it.
Yes. Yeah. Scope that ridge off.
25-degree weather, man. I don't know. I don't think I do that. It might it might just refuse to spit anything out for you. You might get reflux so much that it just keeps reprocessing. It just keeps heating up. Yeah, I'd try not to run it in anything that cold for sure. You won't. It won't be real good. It won't. I can't imagine the issues you might have. Definitely gonna have some issues. That cold. I think freezing your ass off. Did he?
I got.
Yeah, a lot of times when they have just the fittings, it comes off and it stops just at the ferrule, or I mean at the tri clamp fitting. A lot of times they won't send the clamps out or the gaskets because I don't know. I guess they figure that you've got one, but I think you should at least send one out because they know they've got one that went to this side, but for that second side you need that second gasket and second tri clamp that
Right.
they're not used to having because you've
We
added an
should.
extra to the equation.
I'll just have buy one off Phil Billy.
Central
He'll know
North
what I need.
Kakalaki. Central North Kakalaki. Let me see here. You might be getting some snow. Let's see. Let me see. Yeah. All right. So if you're Greensboro, Durham, Rocky Mount, Boone, or north of there, you might see some snow. If you're far as down as Fayetteville or Charlotte, Wilmington, you might probably won't.
Mm.
But that's why I was saying earlier, the line seems to be like southern tip of Missouri, just to the northern tip of Arkansas, southern tip of Kentucky, maybe touching into Tennessee, southern tip of Virginia, maybe touching a little bit into North Kakalaki. But that's
Right.
about it. So if you're further south in Greensboro or Durham, I think Asheville might already have some. Yeah, that's get old Phil now. Get on to him. Send him a message. Ian, blame it on Ian. That's probably Ian's fault. Big Easy forgot to put those in there. You know he's gonna say that. That's Big Easy. He's supposed to fit them in there. He's in charge of packing.
Yeah, I hadn't tried to put it together, and the other day I tried to put it together. Well, yesterday I had set it up and just held things on there, but I hadn't clamped it all together.
$16 there now. I don't know about that link. Got about 2 inches in North Carolina. Yeah, that's what Marcus was telling us earlier. They're starting to get it there in Tennessee and North Carolina. All right, guys. I'm gonna have to get off here. It's getting late. Love
Yeah.
having you on here. It's been a great night. And I hate leaving with 12 people. But if I could go all night if I could, but normally I've been known to go to the next morning till noon. Hell, I don't care, but this time I can't. I gotta spend a little time with the old lady before she hits
Yeah.
bed. Yeah.
Get some snuggling in.
Yeah, gotta get a little snuggle time, snuggy snugs in.
Yep.
But we'll be back Wednesday. Good Lord's willing, I still got power. Hell, I might even fire up the generator if I have to and get on here. So we'll try to be back Wednesday night, and we'll catch y'all then.
Yes. Goodbye,
Thanks
everybody.
for tuning in. Thanks for bringing questions. We love that, and
Yeah. It's
'cause,
good.
it helps everybody, not just people asking. A lot of times, there's a lot of people watching that are kind of afraid to chime in and ask. They want to kind of be, in lurk in the shadows so they don't get their name out there, and they're a little paranoid about it. And some people are taking notes, so it's awesome. We want questions. That's what we're here for, and what we
Yep.
like to keep the discussions about distilling instead of getting political and religious and all that stuff. Because a lot of times when you do that, you're just going to piss half the people off, anyway. And
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
best kept. That's a different podcast for a different time. I'll be damn glad to have one, but I'm not going to do it under the militia banner when I'm supposed to be talking about shining and distilling.
Yep.
But I'm definitely opinionated when it comes to certain things like that. So
Well,
I
you don't
definitely.
criticize somebody else for having a different opinion.
Oh,
You
absolutely
allow
not.
their opinion.
Hell no. I mean, I'd fight for their right to have that opinion. In
Right.
fact,
Well, that's
yep,
the difference. You would not
absolutely.
agree, but we're gonna at least, just
That's
roll it
what
away.
we've lost. We've lost the ability to disagree and get along.
Yep.
It seems like, the people that you disagree with can't be your friends anymore. You got to fight and argue and hate and
Yeah.
post shit about each other and stuff just because you have a little bit different viewpoints on certain
Mm.
things, kind of
Yep.
messed up, Uh, yeah. If we all thought the same way, we wouldn't need elections.
Right. Be kind of boring.
Yeah, yeah, it certainly would.
Anyway, night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, good seeing everybody. Stay warm, stay cozy, and we'll see you on Wednesday.
See y'all later.
Night,
Mm.
y'all.
Night.